I refused to work. I just decided. I was sitting here going, "Hey, the show's going to start," and then I went, "Nah, I don't think so." What do
Shut
you
it
think?
down. Shut it down.
Shut her down. That's all I'm saying. There's no question about it. Part of that might have to do something with looking at the headlines of the day because I'm trying to think back to the last time I saw a positive headline anywhere on the internet.
2007?
2007. That's about right. Very, very good, ladies and gentlemen. Just, running down a few things. Minneapolis rabbi bought fundraiser ticket to confront Biden demanding ceasefire. The only reason I'm bringing that up is from what I understand from everybody else I talked to is you don't want a ceasefire because that would benefit Hamas. Now, I don't know who to believe. Who do I believe? Will it benefit Hamas? Will it benefit everybody else? What's the truth?
That's a great question.
Technically, wouldn't the ceasefire benefit everybody?
You would think.
Like, hey, everybody gets to stop being murdered for 5 minutes while we sit down and talk about our future together.
That's what I'm thinking, but what the hell do I?
But of course, it has to be one side or the other. It benefits
Sure,
more.
sure.
Yeah.
You know what I really love about the protesters, though?
What's that?
I guarantee you, if I sat down and I said, explain to me, what is Hamas? What's a Palestinian? And what's a Jew? Tell me, what are those three things? Tell me all you know about those three things. They don't know a goddamn thing they're talking about.
I think that the protesters in Minneapolis, like I was not in the crowd or anything like that, but watching from my building as they were walking by, looked like predominantly a Palestinian group of people. So I would say if they are Palestinian or Jewish, they probably know quite a bit, but your average everyday American that just is yelling to yell, maybe not as much.
I want to show some compassion. Yeah, but you don't know what you're showing compassion for, you dumbass.
Right.
I've had it. I'm fed up with the whole deal. Yeah, I looked at the front page of the news this morning, and that ceasefire, demanding ceasefire. But from what I understand from all the experts in this area, the last thing you want is a ceasefire because they believe that would strengthen Hamas even more. But I don't know. What I wish is, why don't we all just go to the movies? What do you say? We'll go out and have a little barbecue and we'll go to the movies. Come on.
Grab a bucket of popcorn from the Gold Bar and enjoy a nice little movie.
I would you, and I'm talking to all three of you and all of our listeners, ladies and gentlemen, 952-600-2575. Why do you want to live your life? Yes, a lot of bad things happen. Things happen to me. Things happen to you. I don't like them very much, but I'll get by, When I was growing up as a kid, just the fact of where I was from, there were some kids that I went to school with who would not allow me in their house because I lived in North Minneapolis. Oh, you live in North Minneapolis? No, sorry. You can't come in.
You probably steal something, murder somebody on your way out the door.
And I'm not saying I didn't.
Right.
I'm just saying they were very suspicious,
I didn't steal anything, but I did leave a piece of tape over the door latch so it doesn't shut all the way so I can sneak back in.
Absolutely. In Minnesota's rush to reunite children with abusive parents, hundreds of kids are getting hurt. Why would you rush to, let's put the kid back in with the people who beat the piss out of him? What do you say?
Yeah, rush to put back kids with abusive parents should not be a sentence. Like, maybe we should think this out a little bit.
Those are the top two headlines in the Star Tribune this morning.
That's rough.
Like, why would you rush to put a kid back in a house where he got the piss beat out of him?
I mean, it's probably we just don't have enough space or resources available to make sure the kids to take care of them without their parents around, or if they don't have extended family in the area, that could be. But rushing when it comes to kids and rushing them back into that seems wrong.
Now, when I was a kid, my father was still around, so I was like 7 and under, and then he would pop in once in a while, but not for very long. But my father thought he was Muhammad Ali, and he thought I was Joe Frazier. Do you think, because I'd actually asked doctors this before, psychologists, doctors, all the rest of it, I am 5 inches taller than anybody else in my family. Mm-hmm. Do you think I willed myself taller just so I could fight back? What do you think?
I don't know if that's how that works.
You don't think that's going to happen?
I would will myself to be like Shaq size so I could go play in the NBA. Yeah.
Make about $200 million a year. Yes. But I think I have a good point. I willed myself to be taller than everybody else in my family just because I'm the one that had to fight my dad constantly.
Did your dad at some point stop hitting you? Like, because you got
when
taller?
I got bigger than him, yeah. When I was 11 years old, I was bigger than him.
I'm really sorry
Well, he
that
wasn't around
happened.
around then.
I'm
Yeah,
really
you
sorry
know
that
what?
happened to you. That's like the worst
Very
thing to
kind of you.
think about a dad or your safe space and that happening. That's terrifying.
But you know what I do? I don't focus on that. I talk about it because I could, say, hey, if
Yeah.
you're going through it, I've been through it. If you're going through it, I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't bring it up just to go, oh, poor me. Look, my mother was an angel. My brothers and sisters, I love them dearly. I haven't talked to one of my brothers and one of my sisters for 25 years. That's how bad things got. They're deeply hurt and they can't handle it. And I understand that. I absolutely understand that. I wish it wasn't true. But instead of sitting around going, oh, the world sucks, I got out, got a great job. I have great friends, except for you guys. I don't like you guys.
Fair.
But, I got a great wife, great kids, great grandkids. I have wonderful friends. I've had fantastic jobs. I've had a hell of a career. Why would I want to focus on getting in fistfights with my dad? I'll talk about it to try to educate, but I'm not going to focus on that.
I want, if you don't want to answer this, you just tell me. But
yes, I like your shirt.
It says Brittany on it.
I know it does. I saw that.
Yeah, just in case we forgot who you are.
It's like a permanent name tag.
Here you go.
It's from high school that I grabbed. Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
everyone-
subtle
old.
brag that you fit into it. Still.
Right.
Thank
So-
you.
Oh, look how skinny I
Oh,
am.
look at it. It's unbelievable.
It's like the hardest material. It's like back in the day. It was for a volunteer club I was in, and it's made out of like.
Wool.
Oh, everything
Yeah.
back in the day was built to last.
Yeah.
You get if you hit deer with your car, you just kept driving. There was no dents or anything. Yeah.
Who is that? John Lee Hooker? I ain't built for comfort. I'm built for speed. I love that. By the way, when she was doing this, she was just showing off her biceps.
Yeah.
Look at my biceps.
Brittany's
Jesus,
self-confidence
Palladino.
is through the roof. Dude.
Okay,
Ugh.
what insulting thing were you going to say to me?
No, I actually wanted to ask you a question, but I don't want you to.
You can ask me anything. I don't care. I really don't.
Did your dad hit your mom?
Not that I ever saw, because I would have beat the living shit out of him.
Yeah, isn't that weird that he would then pick kids out and fight them? Like, that's so.
No, it was explained to me later.
Tell me.
My dad was a very smart guy, but he wasn't that smart,
No.
if you get the implication.
Yeah,
I was smarter than my dad, and he didn't like it.
I could see that.
No, that's what it was. It was not a physical thing. It was the fact that I was smarter than him, and he didn't like that at all. And I didn't even know what the hell he was talking about, to tell you the truth. I was a little kid.
Yeah, of course. And you don't know why somebody who's like you're told is protecting you is hitting you. I can't even imagine. I'm so sorry, Tom. That's terrible.
Hey, the guy couldn't even throw a decent punch. It wasn't that big a deal.
Oh my God, that's dark.
I just stood there and went, go ahead, take another shot. But I don't care. It didn't even hurt. Go
Didn't
ahead.
even notice it.
That piece of paper at me.
Yeah, I hope my message is clear to people. Don't focus on all this negative crap. People are insane. Like I said, I read the first two headlines. One rabbi wants a ceasefire. I'm told by everybody else a ceasefire is the worst thing that could happen because it would benefit Hamas. Minnesota's rush to reunite with children with abusive parents. Why would you want to do that? So, I mean, those are the two headlines in the Star Tribune this morning. I'm not going to focus on the negativity of it. I don't understand either point, but I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on the fact that it's Friday and I get to hang out with people I really don't care for.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did I misspeak?
I mean, speaking of people that you really don't care for, I think we've got.
Oh, yeah. Holy Christ. Did that period.
Wow,
fly?
that escalated fast right there. Yeah.
No, we'll get back to it in a second. I got to read this one thing, though, because this is very cool. The Eagles are at the XL Energy Center on their farewell tour on Saturday, November 18th, and you can see them with me in my suite. Catherine will be there because you keep asking. To enter, just go to the Tom Barnard app or the website at tombernardshow.com. Do you think I should be offended the fact that, well, I'll come only if Catherine's coming? Should I be offended?
Yeah, that's the only reason I would show up, quite frankly. I mean, let's be honest.
That's great. Both of you get out. Listen for your name to be announced each day at 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10. Email us back by midnight at contest at tombernardshow.com. You still didn't change that. That has to be changed. It just says tombernard.com.
I will change that for tomorrow.
Who's a good man?
Not me yet.
Not you.
It'll be
That's exactly
Tomorrow
right.
you'll be the best.
But tomorrow.
Yeah, on
Monday.
a Saturday.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
So here's the deal. Today's qualifier, for the Eagles, for the See the Eagles with me in my suite is Jackie Vick of North St. Paul. That name sounds familiar. Jackie Vick. I think she's been a listener for a long time. Or maybe it's a guy, but I don't think so. The one that I know, Jackie Vick, is a woman. Anyway, Jackie Vick of North St. Paul. Jackie Vick, email us by midnight tonight at contest@tombernardshow.com. Jackie Vick is the name. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now back to Filmmaking. And you want to talk sport? Now, we were just talking about the two headlines in the Star Tribune this morning, Phil. Both very negative. Well, again, I don't know if the rabbi... I don't know his view or her view on this or whomever it is. It's Jessica Rosenberg. It's a woman. See how I did that? Right. I didn't assume it was a guy. You know why? Because I'm progressive as a son of a bitch.
Yes, you are. Well, in fact, I just looked up progressive on Wikipedia and a picture of Tom Barnard popped up. It's crazy.
Progressive. Isn't that an insurance company?
Yes.
It is. Yes. I think new sponsorship opportunity here. It sounds like.
Kind, progressive, and so should you be.
This trip through the morning headlines presented by, yes. Let's make
I like
it happen.
it. So, Minneapolis rabbi bought fundraiser ticket to confront Biden demanding ceasefire. And again, my only question is, I'm told by all the experts that's a bad idea. I don't know. So maybe we could all learn together. And in Minnesota's rush to reunite children with abusive parents, why would you rush to reunite children with abusive parents? Why?
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't seem like an ideal strategy necessarily.
It really doesn't. Phil, I have a major problem in the fact that I sat down yesterday, got home at about 12:30, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there, right? I got nothing to watch. There's no Twins, the Vikings once a week, it's not enough.
Daytime TV, soap operas aren't really your thing.
Oh my God, those shows are terrible.
Great. They pump out content, by the way. Those actors, I mean, it's like an hour episode every day. It's a grind for those actors.
I would imagine it probably is. So I've watched what's the name of that show again? World's Dumbest. I've seen each episode about 35 times now. I think that's what's on at 5 o'clock in the morning. But I don't know. Don't you think? Like the Twins did make it to the playoffs, which is a good thing. They didn't make it very far in the playoffs. They made it to the second round, though, which is a good thing again. Not good that they didn't go any further than that. The Minnesota Vikings are not going to have a very good year, obviously, because I don't see them coming out of the chute next week with a new quarterback and everything, just kicking everyone's ass. Do you?
Well, maybe I'm a homer here, you guys, but yesterday, whenever conditions change, we pick the Vikings schedule. So it's one of our things on Purple Daily is about 10 times a year, we will go, like when the Vikings schedule first gets released, we will pick wins and losses. And then when they sign a free agent, we'll pick wins and losses. And then when they go through the draft, right? So when they lost Kirk Cousins, the listeners of Purple Daily said, you guys got to pick the schedule now. They got a 5th-round rookie backup, and then they just traded for a journeyman. We want to know what you guys think they're going to finish with.
Mm-hmm.
And their schedule is so bad the rest of the way. I mean, they play the Raiders in a few weeks. The Raiders just fired everyone at midnight on Halloween a couple days ago. Literally, like they're on their 8th coach in 12 years under that weirdo Mark Davis. So Al Davis's kid now runs the Raiders the last 12 years, and he's got this goofy bowl cut. He's playing slot machines at airports. Like he's a weirdo.
Yep.
Like they're playing that team in 3 or 4 weeks, The Falcons aren't great. They've got the Saints at home. So call me a homer. I think they still win like 10 games and get into the playoffs.
What?
I like it.
10 games. Like 1-0.
Think about this.
6-2 then, right?
It's the opponents. So they've got, and the Falcons this weekend are starting Taylor Heineke, their backup quarterback. He's a former Vikings practice squad quarterback
right.
who had a chance 5 years ago to maybe be the starter after Teddy Bridgewater tore his knee. But earlier that offseason, Taylor Heineke got drunk in Mankato or somewhere. It might have been back home. And locked himself out of his house.
Uh-oh.
And he winds up kicking a window in and lacerating his leg and missing all of training camp. Like, that's the quarterback they're playing against on Sunday.
And wasn't that situation where rather than saying he was drunk and locked himself out, he tried to say he was helping a friend move and put his foot through a coffee table.
Sure.
And then come out later, knew you're actually drunk and kicked your window in.
Yes. Yeah, he also had, and he's probably like 28, 29 years old now. Mm-hmm. And there was a great photo out on Instagram or somewhere on social media this week of Taylor Heineke and his girlfriend dressed up for Halloween. as deer in the headlights. And Taylor Heineke was dressed as a deer, and his girlfriend was dressed as headlights. You can imagine where the headlights were placed on.
See?
You get it? So, again, he's the quarterback they're facing on Sunday. And then they've got the Saints, followed by, the Bears are on the schedule coming up. The Packers are terrible. Like, they've got a bunch of bad teams on the schedule. So,
But I think what you're forgetting in this miraculous 10-game winning season that we have ahead of us is that the Vikings aren't very good either. We are also starting practice squad and backup quarterbacks. So I feel like teams are looking at us as the get-right game.
oh, for sure. And some of it depends, too. So Justin Jefferson has been out for, 3 weeks with the hamstring. And now he might decide, you know what? Let's say they get beat by the Falcons or something this weekend, and he hasn't signed a big lucrative new contract. Yeah, he might decide, I'm going to give my hamstring another 3 weeks to recover before I come back. So there's so many things up in the air over the next 2 months.
Hey, can I show you something? And I didn't even know this, but hearing you guys talking, I reached in my pocket. Okay? These are my car keys right here.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So I just put this part up and it opens my door. So that's good. But look what else I have on my keychain. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 keys to every door in my house. And you know what this is?
Is it a fob?
It's the front door fob for KQRS.
Yeah, it is.
Have they deactivated it? Should we try this out?
That's
AJ, quick, throw us to break. We'll be back in about 20 minutes.
that's 1,000% deactivated, Tom.
Why wouldn't you put your house keys on with your car keys? They're not heavy.
Yeah, but if he lost the whole set of keys, he could have 1 million keys to his house on his keychain.
But see, that's the other thing. I've got another set just like this, and I'm not telling you where it is, but I have 2 sets. In case you do lose one, there's another one.
He definitely
You
should
have 2
had one
full
other.
sets, like full sets of keys?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Back up. That's all I'm saying.
It's
Does
a
that
smart
mean
play.
that I'm admitting to myself that I'm an imbecile? Is that what I'm doing? By having 2 sets of
just
keys, I'm
prepared.
admitting that I'm a dimwit.
You're prepared.
No,
Okay.
like Tom, that's great. My whole life is reactive to things, not preparation, and I'm trying to switch that. But like, I'm literally like, I can't get in my house, so I got to break a window. Like that's where my backup is, kind of vibe.
Why?
It's just how I am right now. I
Make
used
your
to be
life easy.
prep mode, and now I'm all reactive. We're out of diapers. We're out of milk. It's all like reactive. That's where I'm at.
You know, and it's if you're like an NFL scout, wouldn't you want your quarterback to be proactive and not reactive too?
You'd think.
Where it's like, he's been slinging the ball around at practice, but he didn't think ahead to have a second set of keys, so he can't be our franchise quarterback.
Makes no sense. And by the way, where my other set of keys is, nobody would ever find them.
I'd find them.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
would.
an Easter egg hunt at the Barnard residence.
The Easter egg hunt. You'd find them. She doesn't have her own, but she knows where mine are.
I'll find them.
This sounds like a challenge.
I know, and
More
I'm
YouTube content. Let's make it happen.
If a listener can find your keys, we'll bring them to the Eagles suite. Concert at the XL Energy Center.
Yeah, there you
we're gonna turn 100 listeners loose around Tom's property. If you can find the keys, you get to hang out in the suite.
There you go. That's exactly right.
For a little context, do you want to see who the Vikings are going up against on Sunday?
Sure.
This is Taylor Heineke on Halloween.
There's the for the
Oh, my
visual
gosh.
audience. There
God,
you go.
I didn't know he was that pretty.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
the guy on the right.
Taylor's the one on the right, just
Oh,
to
I'm
be clear.
sorry.
Listening
Yeah.
only audience, you're gonna have to go to the YouTube page for this one.
Yep.
It's more of a visual segment, but yeah, this is the starting quarterback for the Falcons on Sunday. That's who the Vikings have to go up against.
Okay,
I
Britt,
want Kirk Cousins to reenact that photo at some time. Because
I want him to wear the headlight titties. That'd be great. That'd
Same.
give you a good look on him.
same.
What? First of all, if you're an attractive, that woman's beautiful, by the way. Is that his wife, girlfriend? Who is that?
yeah, I don't know what their official status is. I'm not quite
Okay,
sure.
but very, very pretty woman. Why would you put up with? I'm going to put lights on my tits and then you stare at them.
It's funny. It's fine. I
Ish.
do say I have to say this, and maybe because I'm getting older. Are they 12? Like, is that where I'm at? Like, they look 12 years old.
Can you imagine? Say, Catherine, would you put these headlights on your breast, please?
I bet it was her idea.
Oh, maybe.
I bet it was
You
her
might
idea.
be right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
put
why
that
she
out
would
there.
go with it because
Yeah.
it was her idea. I like it.
because of my situation, I'd have one straight and one just like shooting out left. It would not work so well.
You're lighting up every house we go by.
Yeah, and like one of them just kind of flickers.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. You kids, as long as they both agree to it, who gives a rat's ass? You know, they're not forcing the other person to do it. They're having fun. Good for you.
Yeah,
whatever.
And the reason I think that it's her idea is because if he goes into the locker room, he's getting made fun of for wearing the little deer costume thing.
Yeah.
So I think that he was definitely like, I've had to do some stupid stuff because my girl wants me to.
Yeah, that makes sense. Also, they don't have to worry about walking around in the dark. Like, that's nice. Not getting hit by cars.
Yeah, it is handy for that reason in particular. You know?
That is true. Oh, okay, let's go around the room. I've mentioned this on the show before. The last time Catherine and I wore costumes for Halloween, who did we go as?
Yeah.
This is very easy if you think
I remember
about
this.
it.
It was the Fred Flintstones, right?
Very good. I was Fred Flintstone.
And she was Velma.
I could see you in a Fred
not
Flintstone.
Velma.
Wilma.
Okay, as if Wilma and Velma are just not even remotely close to the same.
Listen,
name.
Kevin.
Yeah. Come on, Bob.
Unbelievable.
Come on, Bob.
Let's calm down over there.
Exactly.
I once, it's about 15 years ago now. People aren't going to believe this because, you know, I have such a coif head of hair here. But when I was, it was probably 2008, I want to say, I spent 8 months growing my hair out so I could slick it back for Halloween, dye it white, and wear a Ric Flair sequined robe and just walk around uptown going, woo!
Oh, yeah, that's my kind of Halloween.
Oh, Phil was living his best life.
How pumped you about that signing yesterday with AEW then?
Yeah, Ric Flair just signed a multi-year. He's like 75. Yeah. He wrestled a year ago and almost died in the ring.
Yep.
He just signed a new contract with not the WWE, but like the second company, AEW. So I think he has said on the record he wants to die in a wrestling ring. So.
Well, that's the thing. I was sitting in the office and Declan was working in the desk over next to me, and he goes, "Do you see the news about Ric Flair?" I was like, "Oh, did he die?"
Yeah. Isn't that? Pretty much anytime anyone says the last 20 years, did you see the news about Ric Flair? You assume, life finally caught up to Ric Flair, right?
All the steroids and drugs and alcohol that have coursed through his veins. My favorite Ric Flair moment is he did an interview and somebody asked him, how'd you get so big and strong? And he's like, looks dead in the camera, all natural, 100% beef diet. You just say good old American USDA approved ground beef, and you got so big.
Yeah, sure it is. Did you guys ever meet him?
Never.
No, I would love to. So
he's actually a very pleasant guy. That's all an act.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. He's a really nice guy.
Does he actually have a hard time holding his alligators down?
Yes.
Is he really a kiss stealing, wheeling, dealing?
Limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun.
Oh, listen to you guys. You got it dialed in, man.
Yeah,
he's great, man. One of his great promos, and he has about 1,000 of them. He's going off. It's when I think it was like the early days of WCW or the late days of NWA when they kind of merged in the 80s. And he's got, the $10,000 get up on, and it's like a studio TV audience of maybe 100 people, and they've got women in the front row, and he looks into the camera at his opponent, right? And he goes, "I've got more cars than most of you have friends." I got a big house on the big side of town. Oh, it's great.
I spent more money on spilt liquor.
From this new deal, I just want somehow them to get Jay Lethal for one night just to reenact that same bit that they did where they're going back and forth because they sound like the same thing. And the guy, he's talking about like, "Oh, your time is done." He's like, "Oldest ride, longest line." Woo, woo. They're just like shirts off. They're just undressing in the ring to outdo each other. It's amazing.
If they said, "Hey, it's pay-per-view, you're going to pay $30 or $50, and Ric Flair is going to die in a wrestling ring tonight," how many people would sadistically sign up for that?
A lot, because I'm at least thinking about it.
Oh my God.
I'm at least a brand new Grim Reaper match. It's just Ric Flair and some other 75-year-old.
He's going to get choke slammed straight through the mat into a casket, and that'll be the end.
Well, Phil, I know you got to go, but I will close with this. And I think it's actually AJ's fault. I've spent the last couple of days of my life, every person I run into would you explain to me the Sid Hartman lunch I can't explain it. You know that, right, Phil? The lunch I had with.
That clip. I think that clip's been making the way around social media.
It's
Is
really
that what it is?
Yeah, that like
everybody's asking me about that.
Yeah,
Sid Hartman, me, and
Gene Simmons.
Yeah, I have the picture in my head of what that looked like. I can remember sitting there with them both. But yes, now that you guys keep hammering me about it, I'm going, how the hell did that ever happen?
Well, it's like they took and just picked ping pong balls out of a bag for who gets to go have lunch. Like, what do you mean Gene Simmons and Sid Hartman chilling together?
What? No, I thought the part that I was eating lunch with two Jews. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Gene Simmons is Jewish.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't know Gene Simmons was a nice Jewish boy?
Gene Simmons could walk in this door right now and I would have no idea.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He would make sure you'd know who that is.
Oh, I tell you what, he's a very big man,
right?
Too.
Because he's the Kiss guy.
He's
but
the
I couldn't
Kiss
tell
guy.
you which one of the Kiss guys he was.
He's the very big one. He's a tough guy, you know.
Guys, breaking news. I don't listen to Kiss on a regular basis.
Neither do I, but it's like the zeitgeist of life. Like
I'm not like a science guy, but I know who like Neil deGrasse Tyson is.
That's true.
You know, it's.
But I know who Bill Nye the Science Guy is.
Phil, that's where I was at. Yep.
Yeah.
AJ, you're on your own with the Tyson dude.
I know.
I would like to thank Phil on the way out as being one of the people, along with Judd too, that everybody I ran into now explain the lunch to me. I don't get it. How to explain it to me? I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea.
I've also seen more photos of Sid Hartman from the 80s and 90s with Bob Knight over the last 48 hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he and Bobby were very tight. No question about it. All right, young man, have a great weekend.
All right. Sounds good. Enjoy Ric Flair's last match whenever that takes place.
Woo! Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Mackey. Score North, the whole shooting match. We got to take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. What's his name? It's like some news guy's going to be on. What's his name again?
Ted Megert.
Eggsman?
Ted Megert, yeah.
Ted what?
Ted Megert.
Oh, Megert?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
You thought he said Neggert?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So
he just accused you of being a racist.
Like, that's a bold.
I'm smarter than
that's
that.
a bold name.
I'm smarter than that, Tevin. I choose my consonants.
I have to tell you something. When I was a kid that I heard, I still to this day laugh, but I can't tell you on the air because it has not the whole N word in it, but part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is part of it okay?
No.
No.
Nope. No.
You guys don't get to vote. It's between Kevin and me,
it's
since
not-
he called me Bill or whatever he called me earlier.
Kevin, put your foot down.
Yeah. No,
Put your foot down. All right, we do have to take a break. We're running late here. God damn it. I shouldn't say that. I've said that twice now this morning, so I need to stop saying that. Guys, if you want to reignite your intimacy once and for all, listen, just give Twin Cities Premier Health a call for a discreet and confidential in-office evaluation by their highly trained staff. And by the way, that is true. They are highly trained, good people. They're medical professionals. Acoustic wave therapy sessions are 25 to 30-minute treatments with no pain, no downtime afterwards. And right now, Twin Cities Premier Health is offering a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. Receive this $800 value when you use code word Tom at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. You may know that age-related erectile dysfunction is most commonly caused by a buildup of plaque in the arteries that supply blood to the erectile tissue. Acoustic wave therapy can rescue your relationship and has been clinically proven to break up plaque and improve blood flow to the penis. Definitely take advantage of this limited time special offer. Receive a free treatment and a free consultation when you book today. This is a savings of $800 when you use code word Tom at TwinCitiesPremierHealth.com. Be sure to use code word Tom so we get credit for sending you. That'd be nice. I wouldn't recommend a service like this unless I knew they could help you.
Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine,
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
What? I'm sorry. I can't do the spot. I'm laughing. Okay, I'll do the spot. Did you hear what he
No,
said? Devin has to leave.
Kevin's in like tears. I'm gonna have to figure this out.
I'm sorry, but I cannot tell you what Devin and I were just talking about.
Well, I'll find out. Don't worry.
Okay. He gets up and leaves. I wonder if he's coming back. Do you think he'll come back?
I don't know.
All right. I got to catch my breath. Here. K&L Surplus and Ammo. Love those people. Is your one-stop shop for all firearms-related products and is the preferred choice among trap enthusiasts and waterfowl hunters for over 25 years. K&L is an authorized SKB shotgun dealer with a huge selection of youth models and has a huge selection of trap loads. Fall hunting is here. Head to K&L Surplus and stock up on waterfowl loads. K&L now has a lot of the calibers that have been hard to find in stock. Yeah, they were hard to find, but K&L has them in stock. K&L Surplus and Ammo is veteran-owned and offers first responder and veteran discounts. Check this out. Mention this show and receive a 10% off anything in the store, that is. K&L is also committed to safety and a licensed FFL retailer. Find out for yourself why K&L Surplus and Ammo has been the choice of gun owners for over 25 years. So all you got to do is go to www.klgunstore.com. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. That guy I was telling you about, Benny Cruchon, I do miss him, man. He died in his 40s, died very, very young. He was my good friend from the time I was in first grade. I do miss you, Benny. I just thought I'd throw that out because we were laughing, having a good time about something you once said, which I cannot say on this show. As a young black man in America today, Benny said it, and my God, I'm after 40 years, I'm still laughing. Oh, that was like 60 years ago. We were little kids.
Yeah.
Oh man, you had to get up and leave. That was good.
Oh yeah. Well, I was like, we're just gonna sit here and laugh while you're trying to read your K&L.
Ladies, so Benny Cruchon, I want you to know we miss you dearly, man. We loved you and we miss you. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Speaking of loving people, we all just love Chris Egert from Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Hey, I get that a lot, Tom.
I know you do. It's nonstop.
Tevin,
Yes.
that's Gene Simmons.
Yeah, that'll help.
Thank you.
Can you see that, everybody? I hope.
Yes. That's exactly who I thought it was. The guy with the long ass tongue. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
the
what
guy,
he was doing.
the guy with the long ass tongue.
That's what he was doing when we were at lunch. He would just take a bite and then he'd vomit it up. It was unbelievable.
That's how he would
Ew.
do soup.
Yeah. He just licks it up. Yeah.
He's a good guy, though. I'm telling you, I've been with Gene, God, a number of times. Just a really, really good guy. Very smart man, I will tell you that.
Yeah, but he has this like weird ability where I was like, I'm not falling for his charm at all. And then he was like, he does this thing and there's nothing, I'm not saying it was like a violation, but he does this thing where he looks women like kind of up and down and he's like, hello, beautiful. And I was like, all of a sudden I'm like, what's wrong with me?
Like, gross.
Gene.
I know, but I was like,
Gene on the show.
Did he show up to lunch with the face paint on?
No, he didn't have the face paint on.
He had that and the platform shoes. The
Yeah,
whole
well, he
thing.
did have the platform shoes.
Is he always in costume?
He just sits down like,
Do we
"Hey,
know
guys,
what his
how-"
actual face looks like?
He just sits down. Hey guys, how's the minestrone?
That's so funny.
but isn't his hair is kind of like that Gary Spivey guy. Like it's kind of wiry.
It
Oh,
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll show you what it is. He does have kind of some jacked up hair.
Yeah.
You ever watch his?
Yeah, it's weird.
He had
Yeah.
a reality show on A&E
Yes.
called
Yeah, he did.
Gene Simmons Family Jewels.
Yep.
There was a stretch where my family and I would like watch that all
Sure,
the time because
sure.
it was really entertaining. And then it was like, oh, okay, this is.
It got too weird. You're
yeah.
right.
Like they ran out of ideas for. Each
And I'm Gene Simmons from Kiss. Like everything is always.
It is.
He's got a yeah.
I'm telling you though, like I get this charm. I like really fought against it, and there was something about it where I was like, all right, I get it.
You know, one of my favorite things about that lunch that day, because the more I think about it, the more memories that keep coming back into my noggin. And first of all, Sid had no idea who the hell Gene Simmons even was.
Love that.
Not a clue. Who's this guy? Is he like Glenn Miller? No, not quite. But Sid kept asking questions and he would talk to him. But once Sid discovered that they were both nice Jewish boys, then he just settled right in. Sid loved that fact. Oh, he's a successful Jewish guy? I love it. Good, Sid. You're a good man. I do miss Sydney, by the way. I'll be honest with you as we go into the news. I spent a lot of time with Sid Hartman toward the end there, and he just I love the guy. He was just goofier than a sumbitch. Well, like I said, Chad, and I adore Chad. He's a great guy. But I do miss you, Sydney. I really do, man. Just getting together with you at the old Lincoln Dell on Highway 12. The Lincoln Dell's not there. Highway 12 is not there, and Sid's not there either. So why would I want to go to that corner? Right?
Did he pass away 3 years ago now?
Died 2 days after my brother Troy, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
My brother Troy died on the 15th. And so, 3 days. Sid died on the 18th of October. Yep.
I saw Chad put something out on Twitter a couple days ago. So did he? It wasn't not that long ago, or anniversary was not that long ago. So
Sydney, boy, he could do some goofy things. All right, I'm going to get out of your way now. But those are great memories for me of all these people. Just, I wish everyone could have known Sydney. Some people did not like Sydney. I understand that, but you had to know he was a North Side guy. I'm sorry, but a nice Jewish boy from North Minneapolis is going to be weirder than a sumbitch. It's just going to happen, right? I mean, it is. It's just how it is. All right, what's in the news, Mr. Egert?
I want to talk about Gene Simmons from Kiss all morning long.
All right, not a problem. What else you need to know?
That would be great.
Great guy. Really.
Aren't they doing their last tour, by the way? Like their last tour, like for real last tour?
You mean the 1971 one that kicked it off?
Yeah. But I heard an interview with Paul Stanley not that long ago, and like they're done because I mean they're not young men anymore. And Paul's like, I only got a couple years, presumably with these grandkids. He kind of I think it gets to a point where you started looking at like, gosh, we're 80. Should we still be doing the Kiss thing? I mean, if you love it, and why not? And obviously there's money to be made because they were good at that and they were great at the marketing. And I mean, if every kid had a freaking Kiss lunchbox when they were a little kid, I mean, that's crazy when you think about that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you go to their website, it says that the Kiss countdown to the final Kiss show, December 2nd in Madison Square Garden. And then it has a countdown of 29 days, 12 hours, 20 minutes, and 15 seconds. So it looks like December 2nd is the last time.
Last show. Okay.
The last show. So
that's
they're
it.
on tour right now. Yeah.
They're done. And where's the last show?
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, it makes total sense.
Makes sense.
You guys ever been to Madison Square Garden?
I have not.
Nope.
You got to go. You have got to go to Madison Square Garden someday because it's just like legendary place, obviously.
For sure.
Very cool. Very cool.
We walked by it when we were there a couple of years ago, but there was nothing happening there that night or worth going. So
I understand, no question about it. So what else?
What do you want today in the news? You want a sales tax increase? You want the third precinct decision? Downtown Minneapolis getting spruced up? Daylight saving time? I got all kinds of stuff here.
I want to tell you this again, and I'm not going to give you the figures, obviously, but I would like to know why it is that my state income tax is 2/3 of my federal income tax.
Because you live in Minnesota, Tom. Back to you.
What are they doing with all this money, for Christ's sake?
They've got about $10 billion in the bank. They've got a surplus, which is why a lot of people are frustrated. Like, oh, I'm glad you got all that money in the bank. Hey, I don't have any freaking money in my bank because I'm giving it all to you. So congratulations.
Oh, one thing I do have to mention. If there's one guy on earth right now that's a politician I can't stand, is that damn Matt Gaetz. I can't stand that pig. Here's a guy who gets caught with like 17-year-old girls, and now he's Mr. Oh, I'm so uppity and I've got a great ethics. So you see now he's claiming there are 275,000 people leaving the state of Florida because of the politics and the this or whatever. Bullshit. He's running for governor. There's no question that's what this is all about. He is the biggest scumbag on earth.
I will say this. I don't think those allegations were ever founded or that I
course
believe. I'm just saying that was just to be clear. And he is I'll say this about him. He's a stir the pot guy, and that's his deal, man. And
Yes.
he's one of those people who will definitely elicit an emotional response.
Yeah,
no matter what side you're coming from.
He wants to be governor. I mean, he wants to be the governor for Florida. That's what this is all about. Everything in Matt Gaetz' life is about Matt Gaetz. This is me, more me now. Those are the kind of politicians we got on both sides now, and they make me want to throw up.
He reminds me of like the villain in every high school rom-com, and he's the dick quarterback who, like, will step on anybody to get wherever he needs to, or he's the guy who beat up Karate Kid, or he's Biff from Back to the Future, like whatever it is. That's definitely the vibe he gives off.
Could I ask you guys one question? Because I've never understood this, because I do have friends. I mean, we have a very good friend who, no matter what happens in his party, and I won't even say which party it is, they're always right. They could go out and kill 15 nuns and go, yeah, I understand why they did that. Why do some people lock into this political message from either side? I mean, they're both full of crap, obviously. They're in it for the money. Why do people lock into one party like I'm a member of the club now, boy? Why?
It's the tone, and it's just the tone of the conversation with anything now. There can't be middle ground, and anybody who's middle ground, no one's listening to them. You got to be loudest voice in the room.
I guess. Yeah, you know what? That's a very good way to put it. The loudest voice in the room. That's what this is all about.
I mean, look at Brittany.
Exactly. Hey, Cap! Good morning.
That's why they put me in a closet, Chris.
She's in a closet.
Why are you trapped in the closet today, Brittany?
Trapped in the closet. Right, very R. Kelly.
Very R. Kelly. Anyway, so now that we've got all the world's problems solved.
Yeah, and with the third precinct, I thought they didn't want it in that neighborhood.
I know.
And then they moved it 3 blocks down the road.
It's been like minutia from like one building 2 blocks away to a different one 3 blocks from there to I mean, one thing we know, they're not going back into the old building. That was pretty clear from the and while they did, it was an 8-5 vote after at least an hour of debate, and they did finally get something put in place. There's still lots of grumbling about it. And so I feel like we'll never actually see anybody in the third precinct in either of those
Maybe
buildings.
not.
I don't know. I just have a feeling about it that's just going to be out there forever.
Well, again, they're already talking about the new location at 26th instead of 30th, right? It's at 26th Avenue.
Yep,
We're already talking about, well, we should put an old country buffet in there. It's like, what? Now all of a sudden the third precinct's going to have like shopping and what?
Wait, an old country buffet? I'm all ears.
OCB.
You're going in. OCB, baby. They're out of business, unfortunately.
I know. And my family probably played a big part in that. When the kids were little, they used to do this thing where you could like feed the kids, like however old they are, you pay $1.
I know.
Oh my God. I would take the kids when they were little and just freaking eat, man. Like all day, just let them get stuffed full of old country buffet. But that got old after about 4 or 5 times. It was like, then you kind of started seeing like the regulars.
Yeah.
And
it can get bleak.
Yeah. And the quality of food really isn't that great. No. It's just the fact that there's a million of everything.
Yes. Like the first couple times you're like, oh my God. And then by the time it's like, oh, is that taco meat? That's not very good.
You know, that's one thing I love about Andy, and he's not here, so I can talk behind his back. First time I ever took him was a Golden Corral was the name of it. We were down on vacation, right?
Oh yeah.
We took him, and he was a little boy, and he ate his stuff. And he said, "Dad," I said, "Yeah, what?" He goes, "Are you sure that I can go back and get some more? That they won't get mad at me?" Andy, it's a buffet.
Cute.
I know he was very concerned. He didn't want anybody to get mad at him for taking more food.
It's something happens in my brain when I go to a buffet. I haven't been in a long time.
Sure.
But the casualness that I will add like ribs to something is just too unhinged. Like I will walk in and be like, "Oh, this plate is perfect." Like a normal plate that is probably more than I would eat at my own house. And all of a sudden I just like, yeah, I can add ribs to that or a piece of cake to that. Like what the hell is happening?
Or as you're walking back through all the food back to your table, you're like scouting for the next plate that you know, I'm gonna get that on my next time up here. Yep, we're gonna go with this. Yeah,
like, oh, I'm just gonna go grab some like an ice cream, and then I come back and I was like, I also grabbed mashed potatoes because I don't know why.
Because they look like an ice cream cone when they're in that big ball. That's why.
Oh, on a cone? I would actually eat
what
that.
a great idea, Tom.
Holy
shit.
I would eat that.
Did you hear what he just
holy
said?
shit crap.
Holy shit crap.
It was
State Fair. Oh my God, a freaking mashed potato
in a cone.
Savory, in like a savory cone with some. Oh,
I'm writing it down.
The Blue Barn did a chicken and waffles cone.
Yes, they do.
So it'd be similar to that. But yeah, you could do like a Thanksgiving version of it where maybe you mix in a little stuffing, a little turkey. Yeah. Pour some gravy on top of that.
Well, you know what they sell at Allianz Field for the MNUFC games? I haven't found it, but one place does a waffle cone and then a chicken tender in it, and then they do a little dollop of like mashed potatoes on top.
Oh, see?
There you go. You know what? I am a person on the go. And I really need my mashed potatoes.
You're so mobile, it's crazy.
If you're a person on the go like me, but you love heavy foods, do I have something for you? And also, Brittany, don't do that motion ever again in camera.
Don't tell me how to live.
We're saying
you wanted our YouTube videos to go up.
Right,
Here I am.
Tune into our Instagram today because
we're gonna gift that
48-minute mark. We'll be definitely getting clipped and putting that on.
Not a problem.
That's it.
All right,
Chris,
guys,
you gotta go,
weekend.
man.
Yes, sir.
That's not fair. It's Friday. You should stay forever.
Well, it makes me really better. I'm gonna go over there and do more work. So.
He just goes, all right, Pally, we'll talk to you.
Bye.
Bye. I love how he just went,
He's like, I do not have an excuse ready for why I do not want to stay on this show all day.
I'm leaving, Tom. I have no interest in staying. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. We'll take a break, be right back, continue with the show right after this. We got Sandy coming up next, don't we? I think
I hear him already.
Sandy. I am so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many, many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians. They're not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need when they need it at the fair price, keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That is SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes. Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
You all have helped support MyPillow and their employees in these tough economic times. As a matter of fact, just talked to Dawn yesterday. She's going to come in, I believe, next week. You guys know Dawn, don't you? From MyPillow.
I don't.
Nope.
Wonderful. You're going to love her. Mike Lindell knows this and continues to give back to listeners with deals on his most popular products. You heard me recently speak about the My Slippers, the Giza Sheets, MyPillow 2.0, and more. Well, great news. The MyPillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. Regular price of $79.98, and for a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That's a 50% savings. Go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for the special and many more. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Time to welcome the lovely and talented Bob Sansevier, brought to you by Bialki Law Firm. Hurt at work, Dave Bialki goes to work for you. Taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Go to BIALKE law.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you. Sandy.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh, he's depressed about something.
No, I'm depressed for the people of Minnesota. Because
look at your tax return.
Well, no, not yet. There are 2 statistics that are so embarrassing to this state. One you know about. One I'm sure that you've talked about all week, that after the Rangers, and you know what? They made a big deal about it in the media, that the Rangers were the team that had the longest streak of never winning a championship, but they had to go back to Washington. Right. I don't really count that. How about the team that has been in the same place for as long as the Vikings and have never won a championship? Yep. They now are the longest running franchise without a championship. Now, you could say they won the NFL title. Then they played that exhibition called the Super Bowl afterward.
Right.
That was the last year of the NFL AFL. So technically, you could call it an exhibition. But no, they got their ass kicked. But that statistic. And the other one is, and AJ, your club, the San Jose Sharks have allowed 45 goals, which is the league lead. You're Wild, the only other team in the NHL to allow more than 40 goals with 43. This team sucks. They lost 5-3 last night to the Devils. What is wrong with them?
Isn't it 4 in a row for losses?
Yeah, and the thing is that is the worst part about it is there's maybe like 18-ish minutes every game where they want to play hockey and they try to look like an actual professional team. But then the other parts of the game are just, let's go for a skate, boys. Let's get out there,
AJ, that leaves 42 minutes when they're not playing hockey.
Yeah, and that's when all those goals are getting scored against them, Bob. The good news, if you want any good news, Kirill Kaprizov finally scored. He snapped his goal drought last night. Matthew Boldy was back in the lineup. And the one silver lining is that Marco Rossi is now the top line center as of the game ending last night. That's fantastic. Hopefully that kickstarts some things, but at the same time, defense has been really bad. Goaltending has been very bad. Penalty kill has been very bad. Power play has been very bad.
Other than that, though,
coaching has been very bad. But yeah, other than that, I mean, things are just peachy, boys.
Right. We're on our way up. And not to pile on, Bob, with your Vikings who never have won a championship, but we also, the Minneapolis, St. Paul area has the longest championship drought out of all the metropolitan areas in the United States. And it's by about 10 years. 1991.
What
is the last time that we've had one of the 4 core teams win a championship? So it's been like 33
The Twins,
years,
91.
32 years. Yeah.
They even win them in Utah.
The next closest is Phoenix, Arizona, which is 2001 was the last time they won one. But they're at least, in the modern age.
Hey, at least they have a team that played in a championship in the World Series, right?
Right.
More recently than this bunch.
So yeah, we're due.
Overdue.
God, I cannot believe. So you were what, like 3?
I wasn't even born
in 91.
In 91, nope, I was born in 92. So
Honest to God, you're only 31 years old.
Yep, I was just a twinkle in my
God, I thought you were like 40.
father's eye.
That's not what he told me. He said he had no twinkle at all.
No, definitely not.
That's what he told me.
I don't know if his eye had anything to do with it.
Brittany gave it the cut.
No,
Nope, I'm
sorry.
not doing it.
No twinkles.
Okay, so
No
Brittany,
twinkle.
I got to ask you something. 30, 35 years from now, when this show is still on, will that dress be over your right shoulder?
Which one? My wedding dress?
Yeah, why don't you put it somewhere?
I'm in my guest closet, you guys. Like, where do you put your wedding dress? I'm sorry.
Put it in a box.
Can you wear it on Monday?
I don't know if I could fit in
Hey,
it.
I have a question for you. The dress behind you there, does the bullfighter know you got that hanging there?
First off, let's not hate on this one. This
Look at that. That's a bullfighter
gorgeous.
outfit.
Ooh, it's
Whoa,
all
hey.
hand beaded.
Wow.
Maybe that's not it.
What is it?
Opa?
No,
that's-
Ole.
Ole, that's what it
Opa,
is.
isn't that what you yell when you
It's like
the Jewish wedding?
Oktoberfest or like, oh yeah. That,
No, when you break plates, it's a Greek
Break
tradition.
plates.
Yeah.
Oh, Opa?
Greek tradition. There we go.
Oh, it's
Opa.
Greek?
No.
You guys get cultured.
Okay.
we just are. We just listed off so many cultures.
Why don't you settle down there, El Toro?
Ole.
El Toro Loco. Anyway, back to Sandy, who's nuts.
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
You
what?
want to know what's okay? I'm going to tell you something. Have you been watching Loki?
No.
Okay.
Loki is in the Marvel show?
Yes, it's on Disney. They had episode 5. I really think that the people who wrote this and the producer said, you know what? Let's make something that makes no sense, and we'll see how we could dupe people into watching the entire thing and make money off of it. It's nonsensical. And I like most of the Marvel stuff. You can't track. I don't know. Anyone who says they understand and it makes sense is lying.
So, are you going to continue to watch it?
Of course I am.
Okay,
You
so
gotta watch it.
so
They
1
got
out
me.
of 5 of
They
us.
duped me.
Yeah, they got 20% of us.
Yeah, I'm duped.
Okay, Bob, I have to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Does it mean that I'm nuts, the fact that I have never, ever liked Marvel stuff?
Yes.
Even when I was a little kid, it's like, what? I don't like
You a DC guy, huh? We didn't like those
yeah,
either.
Superman, DC. Now we're talking.
Batman, Superman, Aquaman,
Not Aquaman. Superman, Batman's good.
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman.
Nobody likes DC more than Marvel. That's
Yeah, you're a
that's
monster.
not a real thing.
Yeah.
Well, I do. I can't stand Marvel stuff. It's just way overdone to me.
Oh yeah, at this point, I think even people who are into Marvel, i.e., Bob, are saying that he's over it.
No, well, we had the Twin Cities Con, so it's like Comic Con, but Minnesota's version of it that's going on this weekend.
Wasn't that your title, Twin Cities Con, for a while?
Yeah.
Different operation.
That's a different
But
title.
we had him and Ben in studio yesterday.
Yeah,
and,
great guy. I saw him on TV this morning. He was on Channel 5 this morning.
Dang.
And
He was, yeah.
we asked him, hey, everybody's kind of tired of these Marvel movies. Are you tired of Marvel movies? And he was like, oh my gosh, no, I'll just lay on the couch and watch every single
True.
Marvel thing ever. So yeah,
Yep.
some people still are waiting on everything.
Ben's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a good job on Channel 5 this morning. They interviewed him. He's over at Convict or whatever it's called.
Twin Cities Con.
Yep.
I don't know, whatever it's called. It's something.
Who was Ben in the Marvel movies? Or was he in the Marvel movies?
No, so
No,
he
he's the runner.
organizes the Twin Cities.
Oh, he's the guy that puts it
Yeah,
together.
like the convention where everybody dresses up and comes. to hang out.
Ka-ching.
Yeah.
And Bob, since you brought that up, no, Brittany's not really a bullfighter. She just has the outfit.
Isn't that like a flamenco-y kind of vibe if I dance?
Yeah, it
like
really
that?
is. There's no doubt
Da-da-da.
about it. Yep.
I'd fight a bull. I'd fight a baby bull, not a full one, but I would punch a bull right in the face.
Why would you get some sleep?
Never.
It's not going to happen ever again.
You know what would happen? She would punch a bull in the face, and her fist would get caught in the ring they have in the bull's nose, and she'd never be able to get it out.
Ouch, indeed. All right, so anyway, what the hell were we talking about? We're talking about something.
Now,
Minnesota
Loki,
sports.
before that, your Vikings,
Yeah.
big game on Sunday, blah, blah, blah.
Who they got Sunday?
Atlanta.
Oh, that's going to be an interest because neither one of those teams is any good.
Yeah, they got to go to Atlanta City.
Atlanta City, that's
Maybe
right.
I told you that story.
Yeah, tell that story again. It's a great story.
All right. This is the Giants. They played a game in Philadelphia, and the next weekend they're playing the Falcons. And one of the guys goes, well, we got to get on a plane. They said, well, yeah, we got on a plane. He goes, we didn't get on a plane for Philadelphia. Now we got to go to Atlanta City. It's not that far from Philly.
Atlanta City.
Yeah, that's what he thought it was.
Okay. That's
Somebody
great.
likes to gamble.
Yeah.
Apparently.
This was also a team that had a running back who, the offensive lineman who was on training camp, they're watching him and go, this guy'd be all pro if we can put arrows on the ass of our linemen. Because he just didn't know where to go, but he was incredible. He couldn't understand the play or read a hole.
He was that stupid?
Yes, there are. Well, I'm sure that Chuck Foreman or Philly could probably tell you some stories about some of the guys who just plain,
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of guys in the NFL where when you break the huddle, you have to tell him what route he's supposed to run. Hey, you just go stand over there and run deep, and I'm going to throw it as far as I can.
So, Bob.
Yeah.
You were in the lobby at the old KQ building over there in 917 North Lilac Drive when your buddy, the running back, came in to do an interview on the other station down the hall, Darren Nelson. Were you there that day?
I don't think I was. May have been there, but I wasn't in there when he was ready to go down because he was not a big fan of you.
Of me. No, he was not a big fan of me. And he made it very clear that day because I'm standing in the hallway and I could hear him talking. And all of a sudden he goes, "Well, where's Bernard? I got to talk to Bernard." And then I came in and he literally said, "You got to stop making fun of my voice, man. I don't like that. You're making fun of my voice." I said, "All right, I'll stop making fun of you." God, did he get pissed off? It's like, it's a joke, you pain in the ass.
It's a cartoon voice.
Also, Tom, that was amazing, and you should never stop making fun of his voice. Like, we should.
He talked like this. Well,
that's impressive that you can just go in and out of that.
He did. He was a mediocre running back anyway, and he caught a pass. Oh, he went for a pass he should have never gone near.
The Vikings would have won the Super Bowl had he not gotten away of the pass intended for Anthony Carter. Right. Wade Wilson in the end zone. He's going for Carter. Darren Nelson, I'll catch it. Well, you didn't.
Yeah, he didn't catch the ball and cost us the Super Bowl.
But he was trying. It's not like he laid money down on the game.
Did he go, well,
I missed it. That year, though, I will say this about him, that 87 season.
Yes.
He led the league in average per carry. He carried 4.9 yards. That's what his average was. He had some good years, and he was a really good receiver. The problem he had is he was drafted ahead of a guy the Raiders took named Marcus Allen.
Oh, that's right. I remember when we didn't take Marcus Allen.
Those comparisons did not end for his entire career.
Why did we ever do that? I will never understand why we didn't take Marcus Allen.
Mike Lynn thought there was something about Darren Nelson.
Lynn. Yeah, okay.
Well, probably because he was a Stanford guy, so he knew he wouldn't need arrows on the guy's asses to know where to go.
That's true.
Yeah, and it's not just the Vikings. I mean, you have those stories with the Timberwolves as well. Yeah. We could have drafted. We drafted what was it, Johnny Flynn and Ricky Rubio instead of taking Stephen Curry.
Back to back before him.
Yeah, back to back before him, and we could have had arguably the greatest shooter in the history of basketball.
It's true.
Just our luck.
Why do we do it, Bob? Why do we keep making these mistakes?
Because their teams are run by idiots.
You know what we should do? You just inspired me with what you just said a couple of minutes ago. We should compile a list, and we'll have to get everybody I've ever worked with, all of the athletes who hated my guts over the years. We should put together a list. It's got to be a couple of hundred guys.
Why don't you put together a list of guys who liked you?
Yeah,
that's true.
Okay, the list is over.
It'll be about that long.
Tommy Kramer. Actually, you got guys that did like you. You got, and then there's and him, that guy.
Don't forget the other one.
Yeah, there's him. There's that guy. Let's not forget him.
Take the knife out. I'll lean over.
Oh, Laudner liked you.
Right? Well, the twins, all the star twins, the horseshit ones didn't like me, but all the good twins did.
Well, Puckett and you were inseparable.
Well, Puckett and I never didn't get along. He didn't comport himself well in society. I will put it that way.
Well, I remember that when I did the big story on the other side of Kirby Puckett, Herbeck said that everyone thought it was Herbie and Kirby. And he said, they rarely did anything outside of the clubhouse. They never really socialized and it wasn't because of Herbeck. It was because Puckett, he would go off on his own.
He's busy dragging women into the men's room.
Well, he did have a gal or two in every town.
I've never heard any stories about Kirby Puckett. He was a little before my time. Was he not? I thought everybody loved him. He was the greatest guy ever.
Oh, I was hated by some of his sycophants because of the
Yeah.
story I wrote about him.
Yep, I remember that.
And well, Tom remembers the story because we played some of the audio from his side action girlfriend.
Oh God, I remember that.
Remember the presents he gave her, according to her, he gave her like one Christmas either a money or a dildo.
It was one of the two.
No, I mean that's what he would. He never really,
Was his stuff? He just had a lot of women, but was it all consensual?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Just clarifying, because like I know a little bit. Like I remember when it came out, kind of, but I didn't know. Like I think I didn't know if that aspect. So
okay,
it was like
there was a guy on the Twins who, I mean, he would date fantastic looking women. I mean, these were, and someone said to him once, Kirby, you could get these guys. He's dating 10s. And you're dating like 1s, and he goes, 10 1s equals 10.
That is true.
A private detective followed him around once. It was hired by his, Tanya, who passed away recently.
Yeah, she did.
And he followed him to like 7 or 8 different women's homes in a 24-hour period.
Jeez.
Around the Twin Cities.
You know what's really weird? Oh, go ahead.
No. You tell me, go.
Very, very quickly. The funny thing you just mentioned, and I didn't really think about that. You know who I got along with really well? And I mean, I used to run into him with, Ocean Air or the, Murray's or whatever. I got along really well with Tanya Puckett, Paul Molitor's wife, and Chuck Knobloch's wife. I got along with all 3 divorced women.
Probably because you went on air and just trashed their husband.
Right.
Doing a terrible job.
So I got along with all the women, but none of the men.
Well, I mean, I don't want to disparage Puck. He was a great player.
He was.
He is gone. And, the thing that's so sad is he predicted his death years before because he said, I'll never make it to 50 because neither of his parents did.
Oh, that's right.
And then he also, but I mean, his lifestyle, he just, he put on a lot of weight. And I mean, one of the players, they had like a get together a year or so before he passed. And he said he just looked like a giant tick.
Yeah.
The kind of the weight that he'd put on.
Yeah. Really too bad. He was a terrific baseball player. He was amazing.
Well, and if he really genuinely thought he wasn't going to make it till 50, you're not going to take care of yourself necessarily the way that you would if you thought you were going to live forever.
Didn't that just happen to an actor or something? He said, they asked him about a year ago, said, how much longer do you think you're going? You look great. Everything's wonderful. He said, I will not be alive in 1 year. My family never lives that long. And he was right. He died that year. It looked like he was going to live forever. He was healthier than some bitch, but he said, nobody in my family ever lives to whatever it was, like 70 years old or something. He died literally a couple of months before he was going to turn 70.
Well, I think, Tom, in your case and mine, I think we're both hoping we have our mother's genetics. Mine lived to 92, and your mom was she close to 90?
Yeah, yep. My dad died at 60, so that wouldn't have been good.
So did my father, so I'm hoping. I mean, I've already surpassed him.
Yeah.
So let's hope we can have the mom
keep moving forward.
Yeah.
All right, Sandy, a brilliant report, I thought. I think any sports report which talks about athletes that hate my guts is a really good report.
Yeah, and I do feel bad for saying all these things about it's nothing a secret about Kirby though.
No.
I don't like disparaging people when they're gone.
No.
And it's like, that's, I mean,
it's all out there.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like that's why I wanted to clear up. It's like, okay, so he probably is the type of guy that should have never got married. He should have just always had girlfriends. Like, I would say Tiger Woods falls in that same thing, and at least it's all like, you have people that it's the difference between consensual and not. It's like this person just should have never been married.
Yeah,
that's all.
Right. Yeah, that's a different deal. Okay, Bob, before you go.
Yes, sir.
Who was the biggest prick on the Twins of all time?
On the Twins?
Yeah, biggest prick to win of all time.
You ask Vikings, it's an automatic. I take a nanosecond to say Chris Carter.
Oh God, what a horrible human
Chris
being.
Carter.
You never
Chris
met
Carter.
him.
Clearly you never did.
I've heard he's not the nicest.
I had a teammate tell me, and he was we're talking a teammate who was a Pro Bowl team. I mean, he was a terrific athlete or football player. He said, and it's unanimous, except for Jake Reed, who liked him, this player, biggest asshole I ever played with. Because he had this public persona that was nothing like what he was behind closed doors. Do we have time for my quick Very quick Chris
We
Carter
always
story.
got time for you,
All right.
Bob. So who are you talking about?
This is Chris Carter. Shortly after he joined the Vikings, if you'll recall, Buddy Ryan's comment about Chris Carter, all he does is catch touchdowns, which sounds so strange. But when you meet Carter, you realize, I can't deal with this guy. Get him out of here.
Yeah.
I'm arguing with Anthony Carter, who was and still one of the best receivers I've ever seen. I know they have Austin Jefferson.
No doubt about it.
I wrote a story that there's only one player on the Vikings, if they wanted, because the team wasn't doing well, that they could trade and get a first-round pick for, and it was Anthony Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Someone told Carter that I said they should trade him and didn't give it the context of he's the only guy. Okay, so we're arguing. I said, Anthony, read the thing. Read the. No, I'm not going to read blah, blah, blah. So we're arguing it, and he walks away, and as he starts to turn to walk away, Chris Carter uses both arms and shoves Anthony Carter into me. And suddenly Anthony Carter and I are united because we're screaming at Chris Carter not to be an asshole for doing something like that.
Yeah, he was a terrible human being.
So AC and I and I get along great with AC. I mean, I haven't seen him in a while, but the guys that I like, Keith Millard, I told you Keith Millard once threatened to kill me. He was walking. I mean, this is back when they would take projectors home. They didn't use computers to watch things. They took the projector, and this is winter, and I hated, bugging these guys because I wanted to get in my car and warm up, but he's trudging in the parking lot with his projector, and it is trudging. I said, hey, Keith, you got a minute? Get away from me, I'll kill you. But there is not a nicer guy. Keith Millard and I get along great. And even after that, I mean, that was early in his career with the Vikings, but he was one of my favorite Vikings of all time. I still think if he played and his career wasn't cut short by an injury, he'd be in the Hall of Fame. He would until a few years ago, he had the record for a defensive tackle in sacks, defensive player of the year. He was phenomenal.
Yep.
I think he's the best defensive player I have ever seen the Vikings have since '84.
You know what?
Go ahead.
No, you finish your statement.
The thought I was going to say is I covered Lawrence Taylor in his first few years in the league when I worked in New York. I was the AP guy.
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence Taylor was the best defensive player I ever saw. Keith Millard was second, and that covers a lot of ground.
No, I agree with you. That's great.
He was so disruptive.
Okay, as you go out the door, I will say this. Good job of dodging who the worst twin of all time was.
I couldn't come up. I mean, in terms of how they behaved, there was one. Who the heck was it? Was it LaTroy? And he wasn't a bad guy, but when the media would come in, he would put on the most vile rap music and play it full blast so you can't answer or ask questions. I don't want to. I think it was him who did that. So that's an a-hole move if it was indeed him, and I think it was him.
Is it okay if I lean toward Tom Brunansky?
I thought you were buddies with him.
Hell no. God. There were two Tommy B's and we didn't get along. And what do you do? All right, Sandy.
All right. Well, okay, let me ask, because you would know this because you've talked to Herbeck a lot more. Did they get rid of him because he was a pain in the ass on the team?
That I would guess that's probably why. He was always a massive pain in the ass.
Yeah, that would explain it then.
All right, Sandy. We'll talk to you next week, Pally.
I live for those moments. We'll see you.
We do too. We do as well, Bob. Pop Sansevier Sports brought to you by Bialke Law Firm. Heard at work. Dave Bialke goes to work for you, taking care of your workers' comp injury claims and denials. Go to BIALKElaw.com. Tell them Bob and Tom sent you, ladies and gentlemen. And now the Eagles are at the XL Energy Center on their farewell tour. It's on Saturday, November 18th, and you can see them with me and Catherine in our suite. To enter, just go to the Tom Barnard app or the website at tombarnardshow.com. Listen for your name to be announced each day at 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10. Email us back at midnight, contests at tombarnardshow.com. That's tombarnardshow.com, and you win today's qualifier. Name for the See the Eagles with me in my suite is Jackie Vick of North St. Paul. Jackie Vick. Email us by midnight tonight at contests at tombarnardshow.com. What do you think?
I hope that she takes up that opportunity.
Very well done, I thought.
Yeah, I think so too.
Her be a good run at it. That's all. Yeah. If it's a woman, it might be a guy.
either way, it's going to be a fun show to check out. So
doesn't matter.
Make sure to send that email.
And by the way, let me be very clear. I know it says my suite. It's my suite for one night. Catherine, I do not own a suite at the XL.
That's not what I heard.
Yeah, don't be so
nice try.
humble.
I've been telling everybody that's your suite all the time.
Yep.
He owns the entire building, as a matter of fact.
Oh, Tom XL Barnard? Yeah, maybe you've heard of him.
Yeah, instead of XL, we're going to go with TB cell. What do you think?
Love it. Actually,
We're
that does
changing.
sound like
Yeah,
a tuberculosis
Tuberculosis
test.
cell. You got tuberculosis now because of TB
oh.
cells. Yeah, you're right. Never
Yeah.
mind. We have to take a break. Be right back in a couple of minutes. A lot of great stuff coming up this morning. Not that there hasn't already been tons of stuff for the first hour and 17 minutes. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It's Tom Barnard for Flagship Ford in Baldwin, Wisconsin. I'm happy to say I purchased an EV Mustang from Flagship and have friends and coworkers who bought new vehicles and used ones from this family-run dealership. That's just 20 minutes east of the Metro in Baldwin. Whether you want to compare their used car specials, claim Ford financing options, or simply book an oil change or tire rotation, they have you covered at Flagship Ford. New vehicles like the Ford Escape, the Edge, or F-150 pickups with special engine options. Flagship Ford can answer all your questions on your next new vehicle. The month of October is Tire Month at Flagship Ford. Fit your tires for your specific vehicle, any model car, truck, or SUV, and get your tires before the snow flies. Just $5 over cost. That's a purchase of 4 new tires with a $70 rebate gift card on top of the $5 over cost on most brands of tires. Flagship Ford, east of the Metro in Baldwin, Wisconsin, and online at flagshipford.com. That would be flagshipford.com.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Elizabeth writes, I'm a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself. It's so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away, which I think is a brilliant idea. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That's www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story. And please let them know that Tom sent you.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw & Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I don't often do the weather because people go, well, you know, I listen to it later on in the day, so whatever. But I do have to do the weather right here because it's such great news. Cloudy, just a sprinkle this morning, but then clearing. Sunny this afternoon with a high of 47. Saturday, partly to mostly sunny, a high of 46. Sunday, mild with a high of 51. Monday, mild with a high of 52. Tuesday, cloudy, but a high of 44. 45 Wednesday and 44 Thursday. So for the next week, it's going to be the lowest high temperatures, 44. in the range of 44 to 51 degrees. I mean, that's for this time of the year, first week in November, those are some pretty damn good numbers right there.
Yeah.
And I will take credit because, of course, next Tuesday when it's going to be 44. Although the one day this week in the next 7 that's cloudy is my birthday. Typical.
Very on brand. I feel
Really
like.
is.
You can't get on there every day and go, the world sucks, and then expect it to be sunny for your birthday.
Ethan steals my birthday, and now it's the one day it's cloudy is my birthday.
Yeah.
I'm taking this very personally. I'm very upset. I want you to know. You don't care?
I just think it's an appropriate reaction to be this mad about it. I think that makes
Very
absolute sense.
Certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to run this by you because I couldn't care less. I think that they're going to reset the clocks now, and they're never going back to the other stuff, or are they going to do it one more time next year?
I don't know. I think this is the last one. It's either the last one or the second to last one, I thought.
It should, from my understanding, we're going to move it back, and then we're going to push it back one more time in summer, and then that is going to be it.
Oh, it's because then we're to leave it there. What is that, in May or something?
Yeah.
So we're going to fall back and then spring forward, and when we spring forward, that's
That'll
the
be
last
it.
movement we're ever going to have.
Yeah, so you're going to be, frankly, because I'm sick of it. I think daylight savings time is such a scam nowadays.
Yep.
It was for farmers back in the day anyway, right?
And I'm not saying I don't appreciate all the work the farmers that are
No, I
still out there
understand
doing
that.
now, but frankly, I want to not be driving home at 5 o'clock and it's pitch black outside. I want a
agree.
little bit of sunlight, you know?
Yeah.
What are you laughing about, Britt?
I'm laughing that AJ's worried that he's going to offend our farmer base. He clarified.
You know what this tells me, though, Brittany? That AJ has never heard the KQ morning show when I was on it.
Yeah.
Because all I ever did was insult people.
I know.
The whole 37 years.
Well, like I said, I appreciate, I love a good piece of corn on the cob just as much as anybody.
What?
I don't want that going away, but I just want to be able to eat that corn on the cob at 5 o'clock when there's sunlight out.
I like it. Works for me. It's time to change the clocks again this weekend, at least this time around. We gain an hour of sleep Saturday night. According to a recent survey, 70% of Americans think changing the clocks twice a year is a waste of time. I couldn't agree more. But back in the day when farmers used to literally get up and ride the tractor, and it wasn't as much of a corporate thing as it is now.
Yeah.
That was a bitch to not have that light. So I did understand why they did it. The survey also found some of the reasons, top reasons why we hate changing the clocks. It disrupts our sleep. We have to adjust our sleep schedule. It affects our mood and our mental health. The act of going around and changing our clocks. Who are you, the laziest human ever? I have to change a clock? Oh, no.
And let's be honest, it's two clocks, your stove and your microwave.
I know, who cares?
Every other clock has a button usually that you can just press for it, or it's your phone, which does it automatically. Yes, Brittany?
Well, sometimes it's your car too. Like, I think you should add your car to it because that doesn't automatically change.
Sure. But most cars nowadays it's all digital and does it itself.
Yeah, they do. Some of them change themselves now. What are you driving, like a 46 Packard? What do you got?
I feel like our big car will change. I don't think our Audi will, and the Corvette definitely has never had.
Oh, yeah, not the classic Corvette that you have that's,
Kevin, our Rolls Royce doesn't change back automatically, but
my Maserati won't change itself. That's really the biggest downside to having such a luxury vehicle.
Sorry,
it's Tom. Do you know if the clock in the McLaren changes automatically?
Luckily, the Arnesons have a guy for that, so he'll deal with all that.
Doesn't your driver just change the clock anyway for you?
I don't deal with such pedestrian type things.
Oh, pedestrian.
Peasant activities.
All right. Well, Brittany makes these jokes, but one of the first times I was on the show with her, she goes, I don't feel like going home. I think I'm going to go play tennis because I don't like being around when the nanny is cleaning.
Oh, my God.
That is not what I said at all.
That's how the conversation goes.
No, it's none of that is true. You got some of it right. You said I don't have a nanny who cleans. I have
a cleaning lady and a nanny. It's two separate people.
I do not have a nanny, but I do. We pay this lovely woman every 2 weeks to come and do the deep cleaning, and I will admit this. I am very uncomfortable, especially because my job looks fake. I can wear sweatpants at my job. I can wear whatever, and so when I stroll in at 11, I feel like you feel like a monster. Like Oh, thanks for. I like don't know what to do with myself. It's amazing that she does it. I'm very thankful, but I hate being around when she does it because I feel like a monster.
I'm going to call and say, I'm going to tell Lou Nanny that you hate him. She said, I hate nannies.
I don't have a nanny.
That's not what Devin told me. Yeah,
Sorry, I get your servants mixed up. Your nanny, your cleaning lady. It's a lot to keep track of.
I cannot. I'm wearing a shirt from high school. Okay.
That is true, by the way, that most people think media people all have a lot of money. And I'm like, most media people don't have any money. I hope you understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same with people seeing, musicians or something. They just think, oh, since you have that one hit song, you must be a millionaire. And it's like, no, it's not really how it works. Most of the time you become popular before you become rich.
Very, very true. That's all I know. Tell everybody calm down, right?
That's why I would never have married somebody in radio. Like I wanted to, at some point, have some retirement fund. That's all I'm asking for.
Not a bad call. What are you talking about? Look at all the... Oh, that's right. There aren't any successful radio people. I forgot.
Oh.
Well, I guess Howard Stern. He's pretty successful.
Yeah, I tried, but I shot my shot with him. It didn't work. So.
Yeah, it didn't work with Howard. No. He's such a trustworthy guy. Yeah, it's one thing. Howard, you're embarrassing yourself because now he's a flaming ass kisser to the latest trend going around. It's one thing about Howard. He was always such an ass kisser. I hated that about him. Loved you, Howard, but not that part of you.
I feel like when Gen Z, if they ever pull up any of his old stuff, he's going to be ripped apart. It's literally the worst.
Oh, yeah. I don't think there's any question. But unfortunately, what are you going to do? You like some things about some people and other things not so much. I like everything about Annie Stark, though. Have I ever pointed that out to you guys?
A couple times.
That's all I ever talk about. I go, I wish that someday that Annie Stark would call into the show so I could tell her to her face that I just love everything she does and just adore her. But maybe she'll never call in. I don't know. What do you think? Annie.
Hi.
How you doing, sister?
That was nice.
Well, yeah. What am I going to do? Oh, Annie Stark's on? I don't have time for this.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of our upcoming cooking show, The Mountain Kitchen, set to premiere on Sunday, November 5th. The Magnolia Network, and will be available to stream the same day on Max and Discovery Plus. I want to hear about what the Mountain Kitchen. What's that all about?
The Mountain Kitchen, yeah, it's just a kind of incredible thing. I can't believe that the show's almost here. I just have to say, it's what we do all the time, which is a lot of just cooking by the fire. And, having some good drinks and making people happy.
Now, wait a second. Now, you tell me you sit around, you got the drink in the hand, you got the little lawn chair, you got the Mountain Kitchen cooking, making all the chow. That sounds like a very relaxing life you got there, sister.
It is. I constantly smell like smoke, which I think is nice. I don't think a lot of people agree. But...
Okay. Well, wait a minute. Annie Stark is here. I can smell smoke.
Hair, you know what I mean?
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Actress Annie Stark, film and Broadway actress, films such as The Wife, South Pacific, etc. Daughter to... see, that's the one thing that I actually am jealous of the fact that you're Glenn Close's daughter. That you pissed me off. It should have been me.
Oh, she'll baby you, I'm sure. She's great. She's my hype team,
Always loved her. So how did you get involved? Have you always been involved in food preparation, cooking, the whole deal? You've always liked to do that?
Yeah, I was a weird child. I've always been I've always been obsessed with food and food culture, and especially on my dad's side. We come from a lot of cooks and a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and it's always part of the conversation. Holidays are a big deal, especially on the menu. So it's really, I don't know, I keep saying it, but it's true. The show is kind of a manifestation of who I am as a person.
Annie, I do have to ask you, though.
Authentic in that regard.
Yeah, no question. But let's talk about your stressful life. Glenn Close is your mother, and you live in the mountains, and you have a TV show. Boy, your life is very stressful.
It can be, honestly. Yeah, we're lucky. We're lucky people. I just wanted to make something. Again, I sound like a cheese ball, but I don't know. The world needs a little bit more happiness, right? So
yes.
I hope that this brings it to you in a genuine, no BS kind of way.
Now, Annie, in a
We're
very
no BS kind of people,
Sure. I don't usually get too serious about this. It's not like it's a serious, but I'm not kidding when I tell you Bozeman, Montana is one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I love Bozeman.
Oh, I know. Thank you. I'll tell her. Yeah.
No, it's your mom owns the house, not you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she does technically, of course, but yeah, of course. But she doesn't cook that much. She makes incredible biscuits and pancakes. But yeah, the cooking side of me, a lot of me came from my mom's side of the family, but not that.
No, I understand. Now, Annie, do you remember way back how you got so involved in food when you took an interest, not in just, hey, this tastes good, I really like it?
Yeah.
When did you take an interest in food?
They have a lot of really funny photos of me when I was like, 2 or 3, just kind of making kitchen concoctions. So it runs deep. It started early. And it's a huge part of my family, and it's how, cooking really is how I blow off steam. It makes me happy. It's, just kind of a lovely way to relax and rewind, So it's just a really beautiful part of my life, and I can't believe I'm lucky enough to be able to share that with people.
You know how nice that is to hear somebody say that, Annie? Because everybody does, all they do now is complain and bitch about everything. Everything's horrible, and everything's to say, hey, I'm a very lucky person. I'm very, very happy. That's nice to hear, Annie. It really is.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Everything is scary and crazy most of the time. So I don't know. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to contribute to that kind of, vibe. So
yeah, that makes sense.
It's really, again, I hate to sound like a cheese ball, but it's true. It's just, I want people to be happy.
Do you have one of those, do you ever go to Costco and get one of those big, giant 55-gallon drums of cheese balls? Is that why you like saying that so much?
No, but my husband totally has. And I totally have eaten a lot.
Your husband bringing home the 55-gallon drum of cheese balls. I like that.
100%. 100%.
And do you have a favorite cuisine? Because I'll be very upfront with you, and I'll be honest with you.
That's a hard question.
For me,
that's
it's easy.
Hard.
It is very easy for me.
Oh, yeah. What's yours then? You go first.
As a nice Catholic boy, and I'm not exaggerating, Annie, when I tell you that I could eat Italian food 3 meals a day, every day for the rest of my life.
Honestly, I think, America agrees with you. I think Italian would be number one, right? There would have to be a poll somewhere.
Touchdown. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I love Italian food. Who doesn't? I also, I love Mexican food.
Yep. Great stuff.
We have a lot of amazing friends in Mexico, and Oaxacan food especially. My God. Whoa. I also love Japanese, but, just also good old American farm to table is pretty great. This is so hard. You feel like,
early.
I know you'd think that I would have all the answers to this question, but it kind of changes, honestly. But I think now I would have to say Mexican is really high up there for me.
No, I understand that completely. Do you remember the very first thing that you cooked? You thought, this is really good. Do you remember that?
Yeah. I make speaking of Italian, I make a mean bolognese that takes me 2 days.
Oh.
Yeah.
What time you want me to come over?
All right, quick. There's a few flights. Newark is
Oh, bolognese. Is there any better dish than bolognese? It's just wonderful.
I know, especially if you take the time. It literally takes me 2 days, sometimes 3.
No, I understand that. There's no question about it.
It always tastes better day 2 and day 3.
Now, Glenn, your mother, was she a good cook as well?
She's going to kill me, but she cooking really isn't her jam as much as it is mine. She does make, I have to say, I know she's going to be like, excuse me.
Don't worry, I'll cut that in the
She
post.
does make the best pancakes in America. I will say that.
Oh, you had mentioned that earlier. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
So where did the love of cooking come from? If your mom wasn't really interested, your dad, you said.
Oh, my dad.
Yeah.
My dad's side of the family for sure. My grandmothers on both sides make. My grandma on my mom's side is the biscuit inventor lady, incredible. She's no longer with us, but I wish she was, and she would be very happy that I'm bringing this up. But now my dad and my dad's side of the family, we're food crazed. We're insane.
Well, but it's one of the things about, I got to be honest with you, Annie, and I'm very, very serious. We're talking to Annie Stark, ladies and gentlemen, about a new show, The Mountain Kitchen, set to premiere this Sunday, November 5th on the Magnolia Network, and available to stream every day on Max and Discovery Plus as well. Food is one of the most important things in life. Obviously, you have to eat in order to stay alive, and to enjoy doing what keeps you alive anyway is a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, food, again, I sound corny, but it brings people together.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cloth that all of us are cut from. And, I don't know. I just really love things that bring people together, not, pull people apart. So, and I think food does that beautifully, right? And it's also such an interesting, mirror into who you are as a person, where you come from, where your family's from. You could find out a lot about a person from the dinner plate.
No, I think that's a very good point. You're making a really good point there. Sitting around the dinner table. We didn't do it a lot when I was a little kid. I got to be honest. Everybody was either working or gone or whatever. We didn't do a whole lot of that. But my family now, I've been married to Catherine now for almost 40 years, and it's one of the best things.
Congratulations.
It's wonderful. Oh, she's a very patient person. Let me put it that way, Annie.
My husband too. We've been together for 16 years, which is crazy. Married for 5.
All right, we only have 1 minute left. 1 minute left. I know you got to go in 1 minute, so I need to get to. What time are you going to be here next week with the Bolognese? You told me earlier.
Bolognese?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think I should be around there. 5? Is that good for you guys?
Yeah, 5 a.m. Yeah. Oh, you mean 5 p.m.
Oh.
All right, young lady.
A little early for a happy hour, but I'll take it. Sure, why not?
No, you're right. The Mountain Kitchen set to premiere on Sunday, November 5th. We'll be watching the Magnolia Network, also available on Max and Discovery, streaming the same day. Annie, you're a terrific interview. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you.
Guys.
Thanks, pal. Bye.
All right.
Annie Stark, ladies and gentlemen. I love her mother. One of the great actors of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a part of everybody's childhood with the 101 Dalmatians.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Isn't that stuff wonderful?
Yeah.
No question about it. Yeah, she was. See, I love people with that kind of enthusiasm to be interviewed.
Yeah.
Some people love it. Other people, it's a tough job when you're interviewing someone who doesn't like to be interviewed. Man, that's hard.
And most chefs or food-based people, whether they have a cookbook coming out or cooking show, typically pretty fun to talk to, because how can you love food and then be angry?
That is true, Tevin. I've never thought about that, but most of our people that are chefs or in the cooking, they're always great.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, if you're on the line in the kitchen and you're screwing their dish up, Gordon Ramsay's going to put 2 slices of bread over your ears and call you an idiot sandwich. But, yeah, I mean, for the most part, when they're talking about their craft, it's something they love, so they're usually enjoyable.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah. That's so much fun for me after all these years of interviewing people my entire career, when people are actually enjoying being interviewed, liking to talk about what they came on. I've never understood the people. They want to come on and promote their product, but they don't really want to be interviewed about it.
Oh, it's terrible.
Isn't it?
Sometimes, okay, this is really going to be messed up. It's not all the time, but I do notice sometimes authors of books are terrible at showing up excitable for the interview, because they're just kind of lower key.
Oh, you mean like the guy last week?
Was there a guy last week?
Oh, yeah. He had to talk about his boyfriend and this, and I'm married, and blah, blah, blah. And about 8 minutes later, he goes, "Are we ever going to talk about my book?" I'm like, "Yeah, you've been talking for 8 minutes, pal."
Yeah. But I just noticed authors don't understand that if they don't show up with a little bit of like, they almost need to get shot in the butt with adrenaline because they kind of have this calm demeanor, which doesn't always translate. It sounds like they're bored, but
yeah. And then that too, because it is about their book, but they don't want to tell so much because they want people to go read their book. So they're trying to hold back a little bit. Yeah,
and not all. I mean, we've had some great authors on, and
oh God, yes.
No, you can say it. You hate all authors.
I'm just not literate. I've never. That's why I get mad because I think they're rubbing it in my face.
Well, you don't know how to read. It's going to be a problem.
Thank you.
You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to defend you. It's just not working.
I appreciate it. I need a safe space. When anyone starts talking about the written word, I go, stop.
I'm just gonna start saying titles. Catcher in the Rye.
My favorite of all time. What's your favorite book of all time? Because that Catcher in the Rye is still my favorite book I've ever read. I've read some great books. Don't get me wrong. But that kid's attitude in that book is phenomenal.
There's just so many that I've read.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick.
It is hard.
Okay, so for like pure enjoyment, Jurassic Park is like one of my favorite books. But like Devil in the White City is a book I've gone back to a few times. I really like that one as well.
Why is the devil always in the White City?
What's called? That's what Chicago's name used to be, the White City.
Never even heard of it. What are you talking about?
You got to read Devil in the White City. It's so good. It's Eric Larson, who's written a lot of really good books.
What's it about?
It's about the World's Fair in Chicago going up, and like the chaos that ensued when that happened. At the same time, the timeline of God, oh my God, I just forgot there's a serial killer in Chicago who had the murder house.
Oh yeah,
I forget his name, but
H.H. Holmes.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
And it's kind of corresponding timelines, and he writes off of, it's like historical fiction. He kind of pulls from different things, but it's all fact based. And he's amazing. He's written so many good books, but Devil in the White City is my favorite.
Wait a minute, was I right? Is it H.H. Holmes or H.L. Holmes?
No, I think it's H.H. Holmes.
It is H.H. Holmes, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a long time. I don't know.
What's your favorite book, Tom?
Yeah.
My favorite book of all time probably is Catcher in the Rye, just because when I read it, I was that age.
Yeah.
And it's like, my God, he's talking about me. I didn't like going to school. That whole scene where he's coming back on the subway with the swords because he forgot to bring them to the sword fight and the whole deal. Have you ever read Catcher in the Rye?
No.
It is phenomenal.
I heard that one wants to make me kill John Lennon, so I was told not to read it.
Well, Catcher in the Rye in his hand when he killed John Lennon. That's very true.
Tavin, do you have a favorite book?
Favorite book, I would say probably The Alchemist book. Are you guys familiar?
No.
Yeah.
What is that?
The Alchemist. I haven't read it forever, but essentially it's like this kid that is traveling the world, and I don't know. Is
there like magic with it? Or I'm trying to think what is alchemy? What is alchemist?
I don't. It's like more. I guess I haven't read it in forever. It's like a very motivational book. It's like it's like motivational. I don't know how to explain it. It's like this kid that's like wandering in the desert looking for. It's weird, but it's like very metaphorical, and like if you
people pull parallels from it that are it's kind of like a self-help.
A lot of business, a lot of business people like self-help. With Kanye West, before he was ostracized by society, always raved about the book because it's very like inspirational and kind of if you're trying to accomplish something in life, you can read it and
for sure
motivate yourself. I guess I don't know.
Okay, so I have a question for you guys. What does our future look like since hardly any of our students in school right now can read?
A lot of videos, pictures.
Is it really hardly any of them can read?
Oh, I guess reading is not a big thing anymore in school. Doing math and reading is not a big thing. I almost, in some ways, think they're trying to keep kids stupid.
I feel like you gotta get them. It's like kind of like drugs. So for me, I got into
heroin.
Yep, I got into heroin, aka Goosebumps. I got into Goosebumps so hard, and that was my gateway drug. And ever since, I've been a reader. Like you have to meet the kid where he's not dead, so he's still on this.
Is he not?
No, R.L. Stein's alive.
RL, get on it.
He's got his new series out, which is
Justin Long.
I heard was
what is
his new Goosebumps series.
Oh, the new Goosebumps. Yeah, that's right.
But here's the key to getting kids to read. Like even if it's start with a comic book, like it's you got to meet them where they're at and get them addicted. Now my mom was like, "Here's Goosebumps," and I was addicted addicted to Goosebumps. I read them like my mom wouldn't even let me start reading them until we would start our road trip. Otherwise, I would stay up all night the night before finishing my Goosebumps. So like, just like drugs, get a gateway one, get a comic, get whatever you need, and get them into that, and they will always be a reader.
My gateway book was the Narnia series, and then the series of unfortunate events. Loved those books. Yep.
Oh, The Magician's Nephew was the first one in the Chronicles of Narnia. Love.
I think you're spot on here, Brittany, because back when I was a kid, I had like Mike Lupica, like Heat, like baseball books and stuff like that. And then there was like the 39 Clues, which were like kind of a mystery thing. And then I got to high school and it's just like terrible books, not terrible books, but books that I was just no interest in.
Like what?
Peace Like a River.
What's that?
Exactly. It's garbage. It's about looking within and like finding spirit. And it's like, I don't really care. But then I recently picked up a book called Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and it's really good. It's a good plot twist. It's about like alternate dimension stuff, and this guy goes into a different timeline and has to like take over. It's very interesting.
Did you ever read the Wonder Boy book? You know, the baseball book where the guy has the magic bat and hits all the home runs, and he calls it the Wonder Boy?
No.
The Natural?
The Natural. There we go.
The movie with Robert Redford?
It's a book as well.
Oh, well, I prefer the movie.
I vividly remember it was in 7th grade. They made the girls read Anne of Green Gables, and they let the boys read this book about this guy going on an adventure who has a pet eagle. And I was miserable. And I remember they'd always have their discussion groups, and I would never be paying attention because I was so not into Anne of Green Gables. It was not my vibe. I thought everything about her was boring. So I just remember those moments of being like, let me read the freaking Eagle book. Like, that looks amazing.
All right. We do have to take a break here. We got Timmy Lammers coming up in a couple of minutes. Right back. Timmy will join us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at tombernardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful. Someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation, 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take Personal Care Dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch all his plastic keys, bubble machine 5.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Timmy Lammers brought to you by Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyers seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Bradshaw and Bryant. Michael Bryant bringing you Timmy Lammers. He's not with us quite yet.
We had Tim, and then I think he had tech issues because he just dropped out randomly.
He's a disaster.
So we will get him back in the room here.
No, forget it. Just get rid of him. Just cancel him flat out.
Oh, he's joining. He's
get our backup movie. Get our backup movie person we have on deck.
Yeah, who is that? Roger Ebert.
Yeah, we've got Lemmy Tammers is going to be here.
Ooh, Lemmy Tammers. I like Lemmy Tammers.
Good improv.
You guys don't know who Roger Ebert is, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, so you do, but the other two don't.
I don't know. I didn't know who Kiss was, so just add it to the list.
You didn't know who Kiss was either?
No.
Does anybody in your generation ever look back at history to learn anything?
I do, but I don't.
You're a disaster.
Unless Gene Simmons was wearing the face paint, I wouldn't pick him out of a two-man lineup with Oprah Winfrey.
You're racist. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
it is.
You're a horrible human being. Anyways, Timmy Lammers now does join us, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, Timmy?
Good. I'm just wondering if these youngsters in the crowd here are going to even know who I'm talking about today with Priscilla and the Beatles.
Oh, God, no. Forget it. You're out of the mix.
Assume she's a love interest that they wrote a song about?
No, that was
That's Michelle, my belle. No, Priscilla is the new motion picture from Sofia Coppola, filmmaker Sofia Coppola. And this, it's interesting how people sort of purposefully overlook things like the fact that Elvis was 10 years older than Priscilla and they met when she was 14 and he was 24.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I knew, the way that history portrays it, I mean, because with Elvis, I mean, he is the king of rock and roll. And I would imagine that people don't want to tarnish, whatever reputation he had. But my understanding was that they met and he knew her in Wiesbaden, Germany, where she was there with her family. Okay. Yeah. The stepfather and her mother and I think stepbrother. And this kind of plays into how the movie unfolds. A friend of Elvis says, "Hey, you know Elvis Presley? Would you like to come over to his house?" Because he was in the army at the time, but he was Elvis, so he didn't have to stay in the barracks. He stayed in his own house, and he met Priscilla Beaulieu, whatever her last name was, and took an immediate liking to her. And my understanding over these years was that they were friends. And only later on, when she was about 17, did she move over to Memphis and Graceland. But this film, which is based on Priscilla Presley's biography from 1985, this information's been around almost 30 years. She or is it 40? My God, almost 40 years. What am I thinking?
Yep.
She said that they never consummated the relationship until they were married. And at that point, she was 22. But still, between 14 and then, she allegedly was only friends with him. Although in the film, there's some lip locking and stuff like that, like almost immediately.
Real at 14?
Yeah, and he's 24.
Oh God.
So needless to say, I am cringing at this movie because last year you had Elvis, Baz Luhrmann's movie, terrific film. And that's about Elvis and his world and his music and everything else. And obviously Priscilla is a part of that. Well, now we're seeing the story from Priscilla's point of view, finally, because we never really, she's always been a part of his story, but we've never seen her story. So not only did he, he was lip locking and all that sort of stuff because he had that old fashioned notion in mind. I want it to be right. I want it to be special, blah, 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 blah. He waited until they were married before they got intimate. And she says that in her book. But either way, I mean, the fact that the guy is 24 years old and she was 14 when they met.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think how old she might have been where he started showing some true colors and introducing her to popping pills and having violent outbursts and cheating with having alleged affairs with the likes of Nancy Sinatra and Anne Margaret.
Really?
Yeah, on Viva Las Vegas.
Yeah. Yep.
So there was always that specter of infidelity hanging in the air. He totally disagreed with it, but there was no question that Elvis was getting around. He was Elvis. So that was a problem as well. So, his anger outburst. So needless to say, this movie, while incredibly well done, because Sophia Copley, for what it's worth, she's a good filmmaker. Okay.
Yes, she is. I agree.
Old man.
Yep.
Kind of lacking in the acting department, but
here's my scene. You ready? Dodd. There, that's her big scene right there.
From The Godfather 3, you youngsters. You probably don't even know that picture either.
Probably not.
Yeah, so it's just one of these pictures where the acting is terrific. Are you guys familiar with the show Euphoria? I would imagine, yes?
Yep.
I know of it, yeah.
Yeah, okay, there's an actor in there. His name is Jacob Elordi. Now, my older daughter and I see a lot of movies together, and she went to this picture with me, and she says, he's a real bad dude in this Euphoria. Well, in this, I have to say, he sounds a lot like Elvis. I mean, he doesn't call her Priscilla, he calls her Scylla.
Hey,
baby. Says, hey, baby, a lot. Hey, baby. And so he has that down. He doesn't quite look like the king, although enough. I mean, yeah, there's some definite Elvis in there, but he's also like 6'5", and this girl Kaylee Spenny, who plays Priscilla, is 5'1". So this height differential kind of adds into the whole thing. When she's this innocent 14-year-old girl, just this imposing height just seems to that gap in age, it seems to widen it in an odd sort of way when you see this couple together. He just seems so much older than her, when in reality the two are almost the same age. They're like she's 25 and he's 26. So it is pretty amazing how this Kaylee Spenny plays Priscilla from age 14 to about 22 when she leaves Elvis. It's very, very convincing. It's a very convincing movie, but I just think it's going to piss off a lot of Elvis fans because they're going to deny the fact that they can't deny the fact that he was dating a 14-year-old when he was 24 or friends. Yeah. But I'm sure they'll dispute his behavior. And this again is taken from the book. So I don't know, man. I mean, it's hard because you got a really great, well-told story, a well-told film, but, obviously the facts, even though they came from Priscilla, are going to be up for debate.
What's amazing about that is, I look back because when I met Catherine, she was 21 and I was 29. Yeah. And even though she was 21, I was still nervous about that. It's like, oh my God, she was a teenager 3 years ago.
Well, now I hope that AI doesn't take this audio and mess it up. But, we often had a joke because my wife is 5 years older than me that she babysat me when I was 13 and that's how we got together. But that's not true.
That's real nice.
But no, in fact, I was 22 and she was 27. We're not quite 5 years, 4 years and 9 months or whatever apart. But yeah, it seems a little more acceptable than obviously.
Well, but it still makes me nervous thinking about it. Yeah. Let's say if I met her and she was only 19, That would have been.
Yeah, it's pushing it, man.
2-year difference. Yeah, it's pushing it.
It's really pushing it, and yeah, I mean, even let's just say I met my wife earlier than that. If I were 19, yeah, I just don't think it would have.
Yeah,
maybe I don't know. I don't know. Has anybody else dated somebody much older or younger than them?
Kevin, you dated like a 75-year-old woman, didn't you?
Yeah, well, she had those Werthers in her pocket. That she kept giving I just got strung. She put them out, and it was a little string of Werther's candy that I kept picking up off the ground.
Nothing wrong with that.
Just trapped in her.
Yeah, Brittany, you're anything?
Well, I mean, just kind of go back to the movie is that like, I think it's insane that age gap. Like, yes, as you get older, that age gap is less apparent. But at that point,
yeah,
it's a child. Like,
it's easy. It really is. As
Yeah.
much as I love Elvis and I love his music and I love the generosity he showed a lot of people when he was.
Listen, you can have both things exist. And
Yeah.
also it's a different time. Like, that's where I go, like, we don't have to rewrite history and say he's this amazing guy. We know that Elvis, there's no way he's doing all these drugs and is even keeled, whatever. Like, and it's fine. You can have both things exist. I know that the Elvis camp hates this movie and they would not grant her using any of the music. Did that feel very apparent in the movie?
Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, that was something I noticed right away. Oddly enough, he played. Now, did Jerry Lee Lewis play a whole lot of shaking going on?
Yep.
Okay. I thought, well, that's kind of ironic. He's sitting there the first time she meets him, and Elvis at the piano playing a whole lot of shaking going on, playing a Jerry Lee Lewis tune, because obviously that tune, he married his 12-year-old second cousin or something.
13. She was already 13.
Okay. Yeah. So, but it works. The movie works because the music of the era is there. Although, as somebody who knows music, and Tommy, this would drive you crazy too. So the first night they met, clearly in 1959, they're sitting there, or maybe it's their second date or gathering or whatever the hell. They start playing Crimson and Clover by Tommy James. It's like that song did not come out till 1968. So what in the hell is your music supervisor doing? You can use the music, but it's like, so they use a lot of songs, and so you don't see Elvis singing apart from that thing, and whether it was Jacob Elordi or not, I don't know, but it sounded like Elvis singing. But he was at the piano at that point. Obviously talked about touring, talked about Colonel Tom a lot, but you never see Colonel Tom. Whereas Elvis, the movie, I mean, Tom Hanks, I mean, it was a big part of the story. So it's more or less the polar opposite of Elvis. There is one scene, and again, this comes down to great filmmaking, where they show Elvis on stage in a silhouette sort of situation, not the Elvis music playing, but clearly he's in concert with the white jumpsuit and all that, the cape and all that. So that takes a lot of creativity, and I will say, for a film about effectively Elvis, because it's Priscilla and Elvis, to not have any Elvis music in it, it was really, really well done.
That's
What's the name of the movie?
Priscilla.
It's just called Priscilla. That's it. Okay.
Yeah. And there's really nobody in it. I mean, unless, again, you watch Euphoria, the younger kids will know. But unless you see, that show, Kaylee Spaney's been in a lot of different things, but not recognizable. The woman that plays, I think, one of the counselors, one of the lawyers in Succession, is the mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So other than that, you really don't know anybody, but that's okay though. I mean, you always don't have to plug in notable people. You don't really. I know a lot of people had a problem with it. You don't necessarily have to plug in Tom Hanks to play Colonel Tom.
Yeah.
I think any number of actors could have done it. But they did have Austin Butler, who, again, younger viewers knew him from the Disney Channel. Came in and he knocked it out of the park. Or you didn't like it?
No, I had a hard time watching it. It felt like it wanted to be a couple things at once. I think I could maybe go back and try to enjoy it like a concert, because it felt like it was more of like a Moulin Rouge meets a concert. And I wanted more I wanted more story, I think. And maybe, again, I have to go in with a different mind frame of just enjoying it for what it is.
Well, and that is totally Baz Luhrmann for you, because he did Moulin Rouge, and he is just this incredibly vividly, his filmmaking is just off the charts. It's crazy stuff, but it is something that you have to have a liking for.
Yeah.
And this is so much the opposite of that. This is just this intimate story, mainly between these two individuals. And again, the fact that, there's that 10-year age gap and she's 14 to begin with. Yeah. It's kind of like you get this weirded out feeling.
Yeah.
And you cannot shake it for the rest of the picture. It just hangs with you. And I think probably part of the issue is that the public's perception of Priscilla is of the older Priscilla. That's the Priscilla they mostly know.
Mm-hmm.
And they know her with Lisa Marie Presley, who Variety published this great article how Lisa Marie Presley was really pissed off about this movie before she died. I mean, she saw the script and she was really upset. Now, the most baffling thing to me, and then I got to get onto the Beatles quickly, is that you had Priscilla Presley, an executive producer, I think, on Elvis, where she's, out doing publicity and lavishing praise upon the picture. And she was there during filming, blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, a year later, now she's with this story that she's an executive producer and doing publicity. And it's like, she's having it both ways in a way.
Yeah, but Tim, that's kind of what we were talking about, is like both things can be true. He's this amazing performer and all this happened. I think that actually shows such growth for her, because she praised Austin Butler. She said they did the movie great. And I think that's where like Elvis fans should fall on, is that like both things can exist.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have to, it's kind of like people still embracing Michael Jackson's music, despite the fact that there were so many allegations. And of course he was cleared in a court case, whatever. Yeah, it's really tough to make that separation. And there's no question that when I start listening to Elvis songs again, I'm going to think of that. And I don't know. I mean, it's a movie, right? I mean, things, obviously there's going to be disputes and there's going to be historians that say, yeah, that's totally accurate. And others that are saying, no, that's BS. But it did come.
He's breaking up pretty badly now, unfortunately. He just locked up.
Yep.
All right, Timmy, that's going to do it for today, pal. You locked up, unfortunately, but Tim Lammer.
Places.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, it's not going to work.
Discovery Plus.
Oh, he can't even hear us, I don't think.
No, we got to move on.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Tim Lammers, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That is minnesotapersonalinjury.com. Tim Lammers, brought to you by Michael Bryant, Bradshaw and Bryant. I don't think it's a coincidence that you got here and all of a sudden the audio goes bad.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Typical. Officer Dave comes in and ruins everything. There's no question about it.
Yep, it's all on me.
It's all true. It's interesting though. You're 24 and you made a girl who's 14. It's like,
that's creepy.
Yeah.
That's really creepy. You're right. Because he's obviously attracted to her right away. And you're attracted to a 14-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Who
are
we
from
talking
Mississippi,
about?
aren't you? Elvis Presley, yeah.
His wife was 14.
Well, when he first didn't you listen to any of the interview?
I wasn't here.
He got half.
Oh, you came in the middle of it?
And
I came in after it.
And the main part is you're Elvis Presley. Like, you don't have to go date a 14-year-old.
I wouldn't think so.
You probably could just walk out on the street and go, "Hey, ladies, I'm looking for a girlfriend," and you'll have a lineup of.
That is very true.
I don't know. Well, like I said, when I met Catherine, I was 29 and she was 21, and that made me nervous because she was 21, But she was 21, so it all worked out in the end. Plus, she was smarter than me, so that was the other good part. You know what I mean?
No.
What?
No, she wasn't. Oh, no.
You're making that up as you go along, Tom. What are you talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, the Eagles are at XL Energy Center on their farewell tour on Saturday, November 18th. You can see them with me and Catherine in our suite. And again, it's not our suite. It's the one we're using that night. Let me point that out. To enter, just go to Tom Barnard app or the website at tombernardshow.com. Listen for your name to be announced each day at 8:10, 9:10, and 10:10. Email us back by midnight at contest@tombernardshow.com, and you win Now, today's name was announced, and Jackie Vick called in and qualified. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, sir.
That's
She is
wonderful
the
news.
first person that will be entering the official, unofficial Tom Barnard suite. It may or may not be there the entire time, but she'll be there watching the Eagles.
What do you mean tonight? What might not
No,
be
I'm
there
saying your
until-
suite. It's up for debate if it's your suite the entire season for the Wild or if it's just for the one night for the Eagles.
I'm pretty sure it's one night. I'm almost positive. Today's qualifier name for the Eagles with me in my suite is Jackie Vick of North St. Paul. Jackie did call in and qualified, our first qualifier. We're going to be doing this a lot more. Jackie Vick, email us. She did, took care of it, contest at TomBernardShow.com. So we'll be giving it away, and you could join Jackie and Catherine and me in the suite coming up on November 18th. Looking forward to that. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tim's
Timmy-
here to close it
I'm
up.
back. Yeah. My internet has sucked for the last month. I got to get something going here. Quickly, you got to see the documentary on Disney Plus and YouTube. It's called Now and Then, the Beatles' last song. It's only 12 minutes long, documentary short. The new music video is out today. Tevin, I think I gave that to you in chat. Tom, you got to see it.
What's it called?
It's called, the documentary is called Now and Then, the last Beatles song.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You told me about that.
Yeah. And the
This was
song
really-
itself is called Now and Then, and they have a music video today, and it's like they're all there. I mean, it's just stirring stuff. It's really chilling. And it's a great song. I mean, it's not people I know complain with the couple of songs that they did about 20 years ago or so. It's like, well, it doesn't sound like the Beatles so much. And it's like more like Jeff Lynne. Well, you know what, though? The Beatles, if they proved anything, they always evolved throughout their career.
Yeah. That's
So, to me, this is a sort of song that John Lennon would have been playing, before his death in the 1980s. And they sort of modernized it. And obviously they used modern technology to resurrect the song. They separated the vocal from the piano. They finally got technology to do that off this
You're
cassette
right,
tape,
right.
just like the other songs. So, but anyway, I have to run. So sorry about the hiccup there, but I'm
Not a
going to
problem.
be yelling at the internet, folks, and hopefully be back to normal next week.
Sounds good, Pally. Thanks, Timmy.
See ya.
Tim Lammers, ladies and gentlemen. So has anybody heard this Beatles song?
I have not.
Nope.
It was at least, a couple of days ago? Something like that? A few days ago?
Sounds like, yeah. And the music video just released today.
I have not heard the song, so no one's heard it.
Let's see. Released yesterday.
Oh, it was released yesterday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the song?
I do not, and I doubt they'd want us playing it on the show
we
anyway.
get about a half second of the song out
Yeah.
and they'd flag us and send us a bill for
I'll play you the first
$10,000.
note.
Yeah.
We can
So you can't-
extrapolate from
You
there.
used to be able to play it one time just to try to sell the song.
Not
anymore.
Those days
Huh?
That's
those
long
days are
gone.
Is that because of Napster and all that? Back
Yeah,
in the day?
well, and like artists nowadays we don't need you to promote my song. I've got my group of people already that I'll just give it.
It's
to them
not like you have to sell vinyl anymore.
No, you don't.
No.
That is very true.
Darren and the other Andy say they like it, so they've heard it.
Darren and the other Andy. I like that. So
Mhm.
they like the song, they've heard it, and they like it.
They say
So
it's
where
good.
can you listen to it legally?
It's on. If you Google it, it's on YouTube.
Spotify, Apple
Oh, it is.
Music, YouTube. Yeah, you just type it in.
So
and-
since we use YouTube, why can't we listen to the song? That's
Because then it's on our YouTube, and they want people to go to their YouTube so they can sell ads.
weird. Oh, it's unbelievable. The world has changed quite a bit. There's no question. You know what? I wonder what it's like to be in the record business now, since there are no more records.
It'd be weird.
That would be weird to be in the music
Yeah.
business now.
Yeah, essentially you're in the streaming business.
Yeah, you're in the streaming
there's no
business.
record
and,
business.
And I would say most of the record companies now probably focus more so on getting their people out on tour and that avenue rather because it's not like you're getting people to go to Target to
Yeah,
buy
absolutely.
a CD.
Yeah, it's like Live Nation and stuff.
Mhm.
That's what they're lean on.
Yeah, but like yesterday when Ben was in studio, we're talking about going to Merwin Drugstore over on Lyndale and Broadway when I was a little kid, and you'd look at the comic books, and you'd go over and look at the latest 45 over there in the music.
Never done that in my life.
No, you never have.
I have bought one record or one CD in my entire life.
Oh, really?
Not even
Brittany
a
or
record.
Tevin might be able to guess what it is. So, teenage boy, 90s. What did I buy?
I'm gonna guess Space Jam CD.
Well, we did have that, but I got that for Christmas. So.
Yeah, so did I. That was my first.
I was going to say Aaron Carter.
The only CD I ever bought, Beastie Boys, Hello Nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to
Pretty
you.
much obligatory for a 90s teenager.
Where'd you buy that?
Probably Target, if I had to guess.
Oh,
I mean,
probably Target.
I was like 13 years old, so I bought it in massive quotes, but still.
What do you think of that?
Still.
We do have to mention this very, very quickly. Oh, matter of fact, we got to get going very quickly here in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to change the clocks again this weekend. At least this time around, we gain an hour of sleep on Saturday night. According to a recent survey, 70% of Americans think changing the clocks twice a year is a waste of time. We had talked about that earlier.
I do.
You think it's a waste of time?
I'm so looking forward to never doing it again, if that ever happens. They've been promising it for like 3 years.
I thought this was going to be it when they change it back in the spring.
Too, but I couldn't find any information that says concretely that this is it. So
Really?
I don't know. We'd have to have, because there's been like federal attempts to do it, and then also Minnesota attempts, and I don't know if any of them have actually like fully been ratified yet.
Now, here are the problems. The survey found some of the top reasons why we hate changing the clocks. It disrupts our sleep. We have to adjust our sleep schedule. It affects our mood and mental health. The act of going around and changing our clocks, having to turn the lights on earlier. People hate all. Boy, that is a lot to. I mean, that's a lot to bear.
Okay.
I feel like if you have kids, then I could see that being a pain in the ass.
Kids and dogs. Like, try to explain to your dog that they're not eating at the time. Like, they'll look outside and be like, food now. And they robot will literally howl at me. And I sit and argue with her.
Yep.
It's terrible.
No, you imbecile. It's sleep time.
She does that at 8 o'clock at night. I'm going to the bowl. I'm assuming we're going to put some chow in there. We have to take a break because Kristyn Burtt will join us right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings, or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialke from Bialke Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialke Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkelaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Elizabeth writes, I'm a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You won't regret your investment in yourself. It's so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away, which I think is a brilliant idea. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That's www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story. And please let them know that Tom sent you.
The new Tom Barnard Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Kristyn Burt now joins us. So, Kristen,
Good morning.
what's the buzz?
What's the buzz? I think this is kind of interesting. Alec Baldwin, let's bring him back to the top because we've been talking about him quite a bit over the last year or so. It looks like he is going to be facing new charges in that Russia shooting. Yeah, they're going back to, they're having a grand jury take a look at some new charges. And so in order for him to sort of make sure that this isn't the top headline, he and his wife, Hilaria, really Hillary, because she's not really Spanish,
Hilaria.
are shopping a reality show with their 7 kids.
Shut up.
Yeah. And I mean, he's pretty honest about it. He did an interview with Kelly Ripa, and he's basically saying, I don't have the money to raise these kids anymore.
Oh, okay.
So reality show is on the table.
If I were him, I'd call it 7 in the chamber.
Oh,
Done.
nice show.
Wow,
Look at
that is
Andy's all
brilliant.
proud of himself. God. Big smile.
Sometimes inspiration strikes.
It does. Sometimes. There's no question.
So what? So you can't. Was he tried for manslaughter and he was found not guilty?
He was not. They dropped the charges
Oh,
originally.
okay. I was going to say because double jeopardy, but that wouldn't apply if he was never actually tried.
Right. So it's kind of interesting because there was a lot of evidence saying that the gun malfunctioned and that there was something wrong. There was also issues with the attorney general at the point, and they had to get rid of them. And so they had to scrap that case and start all over again. And now they say that they have new evidence that'll be presented to a grand jury later this month, and they are expecting charges to come from this.
Wouldn't it be great if he went to prison?
Wouldn't it be great?
I mean, I mean, if he didn't do it, like if it was an equipment failure, I mean, there was definitely a failure in terms of the armorer because and some of the safety checks that were not in place when it came to this particular set. That is very clear.
So what was it again? It was loaded with live ammunition.
Yeah.
Or was it a squib that,
it was live ammunition.
It was live ammunition.
Why was there a gun capable of loading live ammunition?
Yeah, why would they have even live ammunition on set?
It doesn't make any sense.
Well, here's the thing. So if you remember, this set was a little bit rogue in terms of safety and everything else going on.
Clearly.
The armorer was taking some of the props that were utilized in this film and on weekends going out and shooting some live rounds. And so there were just a lot of things in place that should never have ever happened on a set. So all of that carelessness wound up with the director shot and injured and the cinematographer dead.
God.
So I guess how is that if somebody else took this gun out on the weekend, loaded with live rounds or whatever, and somehow it ends up in Alec Baldwin's hands, how is then he responsible for?
Well, because if
that?
someone hands you a gun and says this gun is empty, and then you point it at someone and pull the trigger, you're still being grossly irresponsible.
Yeah.
You always treat all guns as if they're loaded.
But even when it's your job, you're on set at a movie. Like,
but it wasn't part of the scene, though. He pointed it at like the camera operator or something.
But even if it was part of the scene, Tevin, it's kind of going down to, even if you look at the medical field, if a doctor orders something and a nurse gives them that medication and they die, that's on the nurse. So it's like there's a point of like you just have to be accountable for your actions. And like if it's a slippery slope. So like like Andy's saying, if we're doing a podcast and a video podcast, and I think this is something, somebody hands me a gun and says it's not loaded, there's still negligence happening.
Well, you never, there's still a tiny
And
chance.
I just want to say that they did not do those final safety checks. So when someone, what's supposed to happen is that the armorer is supposed to hand it to the actor. Instead, the armorer said it was all set to go. It was handed to an assistant director. The assistant director handed it to Alec Baldwin. So already the chain of command has already been screwed up there. And as an actor, you're supposed to also triple check that what the armorer has handed you is exactly what they say it is. Like it's empty or it's not loaded or any of that. You have to be doing those final safety checks. None of that happened.
You know the definition of the phrase snowball and hell's chance? That's the chance we'd have giving a live gun to Brittany in a studio with me. Not a chance, sister. You're never shooting me.
The funny thing is like I am, when it comes to weapons, like since I was in the military, I would never, ever, I would never do that thing where you point at anybody. I wouldn't flag anybody. Like I'm very like hypersensitive about, barrel direction. So, but
when I went shooting, I was much more scared of the bullets than the gun.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
the bullets are where all the energy is. Because the gun itself, all it really is just like basically a tube with a pin at the end of it. Not really that big of a deal. But the bullets themselves, those are scary.
No question. Now, Kristen, I have to ask you a question. Because I've never even talked to Alec Baldwin, but Danny Baldwin and I were pretty good friends for a while there, a few years. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years now, but he isn't doing much anymore, is he? I don't think.
No, he's not really acting. He's not really out there. Maybe he's doing some small video on demand movies, but he's not.
Maybe.
Not the big.
But he's the nicest guy in the world. Danny Baldwin, you know Danny at all?
I don't, because they live on the East Coast. So the Baldwins are New York actors that they rarely make it out here on the West Coast.
Just a really, really nice guy. But I understand Alec is not a nice person. He's just a massive pain in the ass. Is that true?
Oh, that is on record. That is not even, I don't even have to say allegedly. I mean, if you take a look at his history, you can see his contentious relationship with the paparazzi. He's had numerous.
Yeah, with everybody and everything.
Yeah. I mean, New York Post used to call him the Bloviator. When I lived in New York, I used to remember that.
I like that.
Yeah, because he was always so angry. And I get some of it, when he had a young daughter with Kim Basinger, he was upset. He did not want, the paparazzi taking photos of his child. I get it. But he would punch them instead of like try and shield his child. It's the violence he would always resort to. I think a lot of people have heard that voicemail. His daughter, Ireland, you guys remember? He called her a pig.
Yeah. He called her a pig, yep.
Yeah. And
rude, thoughtless pig.
Yeah, it's really sad. So, I mean, he has had a lot of anger issues over the past. He is very talented, but I think also very complex.
Yeah, complex is a good way to put it. Nuts or complex. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, and take a look at his wife. I mean, she has pretended that she is from Spain, and she is a white, preppy girl from Massachusetts.
She's nuts. I mean, that woman's crazy.
And I don't know. She's basically gotten away with it, essentially. I mean, sort of the controversy came and the controversy went, and people are still calling her Hilaria, and she's still talking with her fake Spanish accent, and it's very strange.
Listen, Christine.
Christina.
Christina. Tom, I've got a report this morning. You're going to start doing that now? That'd be great.
No, I'm not going to pretend that I don't know the word for cucumber.
How you say?
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What do you call this? Cucumber? Yeah.
But
You grew up with cucumber in Massachusetts. I know.
That's a great story. What do you call this? She actually did that, really?
Yes.
How
and there
you
is video
say?
evidence.
How you say cucumber?
Cucumber.
What is the word for this? Yeah. If you go and Google like Hilaria cucumber,
God.
the Today Show, you will see the video. It's up there on YouTube.
Why would she do that?
Because she had this whole like ruse going on of like being Spanish, and she had to keep up with it. And because she was married to Alec Baldwin, she got a ton of opportunities. Like it's kind of like being a Nepo baby. She became a health correspondent for Extra. And because of her, yoga connections, she would do fitness and health segments on the Today Show. And, they love those connections in the media. And so she had to live this whole, like, I'm Spanish, but I'm married to Alec Baldwin, and here's my health lifestyle. It's crazy when you think of the scam she got away with.
So what is the upside of pretending you're something you're not? I don't get it.
Makes you seem more exotic and interesting.
Yeah.
But it's not.
I think I might have the clip here.
Oh, God.
So that was it.
How do you
How
say,
you say
it
in English cucumber?
Right.
She actually said
this was on Today, the Today Show.
Yeah. The Today Show. We're not talking about like a small local channel, like something out in the Hamptons. This was the Today Show. This was national.
Yep.
So if I ever meet her, I'm going to say, how do you say F you in Spanish?
No, just call her Hillary the whole time. See how she goes.
Yeah,
She
you
handles
doing,
that.
Hill? I like that. That's a good idea. Okay, explain to me the human brain. What is the upside of pretending to be something you're not when everybody knows you're not that? You're not fooling anybody.
No. Well, it's like the Rachel Dolezal.
Oh,
Dolezal. Yeah, Dolezal.
Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, I'm black. Okay.
No, you're not. Other than that, though.
Or what was that big scam one with the Call Me Anna Netflix thing? The
Anna
socialite.
Inventing Anna.
Inventing Anna, yeah. That, I mean, she pretended that she was well off and a socialite and scammed a ton of people in the New York social scene and a few celebrities. She did get caught eventually, but it's one of those things. People love scam artists. I don't know why people are seduced by them even after the fact, but Hollywood even loves to cover their stories.
Why would you want to get anywhere near a scam artist? That makes no sense.
I mean, if you're the victim of it, you're not going to be like, oh, this is amazing. But I feel like Hollywood's like, let's take a look and, you know,
like
catch me. They're all about.
Yeah, I was just going to say, catch me if you can.
Catch me if you can. Elizabeth Holmes is a great example in the tech industry of pulling off a great scam.
Yep, that's very, very true.
Kristen, we were promised a mom today.
Yeah. Let me go get her. Hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Your mom was going to come on today. Oh, you can see the fan whirling around in the mirror there. Look at that.
Sure can.
Oh, they got a nice house.
Why? Because they have a lamp?
Must be nice. Yeah.
Ooh, they have a fan and a
Electricity,
lamp.
Clearly.
Yeah, they're paying the electric bill, which is a good sign. That's it's got to be wonderful. So she's actually where now? Here we
Florida.
I'm in Florida.
That's right.
Grammy. This is Grammy.
Hi.
Hi.
Her real name's Renee, but everyone calls her Grammy.
Renee, we love your daughter.
Oh, I love her too.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm glad. I'm glad we influenced you to like her.
Yeah.
Well, now I guess we know where she got her looks there, huh?
Oh, yeah, right.
That's Brittany, and that's Tom. Officer Dave.
Officer Dave.
Yes. Grammy likes Officer Dave.
Okay. All right.
Officer Dave.
All right, Renee, I see you.
Well, her boyfriend's right around the corner, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Grammy
Officer Dave and Mike are going to have a throwdown.
He's working on
Mr. Grammy. I like that.
Renee said there's room for two.
that.
She goes, it's no big deal. Mike's working outside. Let me just flirt with Officer Dave.
Hey, I don't flirt
Is
now.
it
What
an
the hell am I
embarrassment to
gonna
have a
flirt?
daughter in the entertainment industry?
Tom, just ask you a question.
Oh, sorry.
Is it an embarrassment to have your daughter in the entertainment industry?
No.
I am so sorry, Renee.
Really well.
That was phenomenal. Long pause.
She got to interview Barbara Streisand and Seth Rogen because of me.
That was,
That's
I was
awesome.
a nervous wreck.
Well, tell me about it.
It was, what was the name of the movie? That was kind of cute. We thought it was
A road trip. It was road trip.
Yeah. Yeah, they went on a road trip together, mother and son.
Yeah, and she had to go and interview them, and like her hair was shaking. She was so nervous.
Oh.
Are those your favorite celebrities that you've met because of your daughter?
Probably Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand's pretty iconic.
Yeah, I guess it would have to be her. I
Yeah.
don't meet that many.
No, because she's on the East Coast. I'm in California, so we're in Florida right now.
But that was my next question. Are you happy now that she's so far away you don't have to put up with her?
I haven't put up with her since, let's see, she went to high school.
And then that was
and
it.
then all summer she would go to some
Got the hell out.
Camps. Yeah, I
Yeah,
went to like
camps.
summer camps and stuff like that. My mom said I was ready to move out the day I was born.
she came
You were
out of the
born?
womb independent, really.
Yeah. I could see
Really?
that.
Yeah, she did.
But she's a straight A student, wasn't she? Full.
Oh yes. Oh, she was. I used to tell her most kids will do your homework take it easy, Kristen. It's okay. You're doing really good. You're doing really good.
Like, stop doing your homework all the time.
She used to give me mental health days because she'd be like, "You were too stressed out. You're not going to school today."
You know what's so great about this, and I'm very serious about this. I'll get serious just for one moment. It's so nice to see a young woman and her mother together being so happy. And I'm serious. Cherish the moment, because
we do.
If I could sit and talk to my mother like this, it would be so wonderful. So enjoy these moments.
Toots.
Oh, Toots. That's cute.
Yeah, Toots was great. She had a deeper voice than I did, though. That was the one problem. You kids behave. I was like, okay, Mom.
I used to say that a lot too.
Tom's a Radio Hall of Fame broadcaster.
Whoa,
I'm gonna brag about him.
Yeah.
Andy is Tom's son.
Oh, hi, Andy.
And you haven't met Tevin.
Yeah, Kevin.
Tevin with the T.
That's all right. Everybody says it.
He's so used to it. You're probably like, I get called Kevin all the time.
Now. And what about Brittany?
And Brittany, you're the one who requested you.
I am Renee. I'm a huge Renee fan. I now when anyone asks me what's the biggest celebrity I interviewed, I would say Renee.
Renee Bert.
Yeah, right.
Now, is it a problem, the fact that they can't really tell who's younger, you or Kristen?
Oh, right. I'm going to be a great grandmother this month.
Congratulations!
Oh my
having
God.
a baby soon.
You're my granddaughter, so
we're still going to call her Grammy, though. We're not going to go elevate to great Grammys. No,
great Grammy. No, I understand that completely.
Gigi works.
Gigi, yeah.
Yeah, Gigi works.
Well, she was going to be Gigi. You want the tea on this? Let's spill the tea. Grammy.
Yes, give.
Okay, so Grammy was going to be Gigi as great grandmother, and then she went to the baby shower in Georgia, and one of the other step grandparents on the other side of the family. What did she get?
She gave her baby clothes that she had embroidered, and she signed it Gigi.
No,
she stole her name.
She peed on a tree. She took.
Right.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
you know
she
what? It was
didn't.
Okay, I've been Grammy for so long. I'm just gonna.
And the original
No big
Grammy,
deal.
and the original Grammy Bert was so great. So we're we have the next Grammy Bert. So
And Renee, nothing is more pathetic than somebody trying to create their own nickname. Okay,
Right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
It's cool. I'm good with it. It's
fine.
Forever
Take it.
Grammy hashtag.
Yeah, if you need some sort of retaliation, you just let us know.
Yeah,
we'll go down there. We'll pay step grandma visit, and
I'll rip a onesie right in front of her.
The Minnesota squad. She's a military vet, so don't mess with Brian.
I like Britt. Yeah, that's cool. I need.
I
her
got
on my
your
side.
back. Yeah,
Yeah, because
Renee.
Graham's small but mighty too. We're not the tallest of the lot. She's 5'2" to my 5'3".
Yeah, no, she's sitting on something, and I'm not. I'm
Yeah,
yelling.
but you're still shorter.
Almost dead even there.
Oh,
Another great telltale sign about somebody, a mother and a daughter loving one another, is Kristen. You don't even know you're doing this, but because you live on the other side of the continent, every chance you get in this interview, you have touched her shoulder. I love that.
We love Grammy.
I know, isn't it just?
She's pocket sized. We love her. She's so tiny and cute.
They love to make fun of me.
Oh.
Well, you should see my brother sometime. He's a foot taller than both of us and 100 pounds over us.
He goes to the gym twice a day, I swear.
He's a meathead.
All right,
But
calm
he
down.
still lives on the East Coast. He lives in Florida, right?
No, he's in Miami.
He's in Miami, so
Yeah. Oh, he's in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all bad. So you proud of your daughter?
I am. I'm very proud of my daughter. I've always been proud of her. It's she's. Yeah.
I never got in trouble. I wasn't a bad
didn't.
kid. Oh, Sam's coming in
Oh,
here too. We got a
Sam's
dog.
coming.
Yeah.
Let's look at Sam. We got to see Sam.
Oh,
What
poor
kind of
Sam.
dog is Sam?
He's a big dog.
He's a big
Oh, he's a big dog.
Of course, you guys have a big dog. That's just so funny.
Oh, look at his size.
Oh, he's
Dog
huge.
butt. You get dog butt.
Yeah, we get dog butt. That's right.
And there's
He goes,
two
here's my
running
butt.
around,
Tom.
too.
Two kitties too.
Thank you so much. I got to see a dog butt. Here, Tom, here's my butt. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Okay, never mind.
That's great. Great lesson for people from, a daughter and her mother sitting there enjoying time together. That's what a great message to send America. That's all I'm
It's
saying.
been fun. Yeah, I don't see her often, but I did see her a lot this year.
Well, yeah, we had deaths and things like that. So
And then Renee,
we did meet at Disney World too.
Oh, we did.
yeah.
Oh,
Renee,
there-
did you go to Kristen's husband's show then in Florida
I
when he was there?
did.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fun. That was
Little
the time
Ricky
I went.
Ricardo.
That
Yeah.
was fun. Yeah.
Indeed. We're very, very proud to have her on the show. I will tell you
Oh,
that.
thank you.
They
so
put
much
up with
for
me
telling
every
me.
day. When
I was
you
talking about you, not her.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
She goes, well.
Well, yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. It is. It's a very good image for people. A mother and a daughter loving each other so much is fantastic.
Well, it's nice meeting you all too.
Nice
Because I
to
do
meet
hear
you
a
as
lot
well.
about you guys, and she loves doing the show.
oh,
I'll pay you later.
Yeah, I'll give you the dough later.
I'm just reading off a script.
That's a great
Say
treat.
this as I like holds, as I pinch her. Say nice things.
Actually, yeah, she's not holding or she's not touching her shoulder because she missed her. She's like making sure she say the right thing as I told you. Yeah.
Okay, so Renee, you give me one tip because that's what your daughter does. She gives me, like, she told me to watch The Righteous Gemstones, and I have, and I love it.
Grammy just
Magnificent.
said shit.
What?
She just said shit. You're asking a hard question.
She said, yeah.
Bullshit. She didn't say shit.
She
Bullshit.
did. She said it under her breath. I heard it.
I know, but I just said it 3 times to cover.
I told you what to say because I
What?
knew he was going to ask this question.
Oh, what'd you tell me to say? I'm what?
What the hell?
Okay, he's going to ask you what you want, what you're watching. So you're watching on Netflix.
Oh, what? I don't have to tell him I watched that.
Yeah, you do.
What?
She's keeping up with all the other white women in America and watching true crime shows.
oh, I love it. Love it. You gotta know.
This one about what is it called?
Oh, but they're not sure if the boyfriend or the daughter did it, but they killed the parents. This goes back to in the 1980s.
And they slit the throat. It was really nice.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's easier for you to tell us a embarrassing story about Kristen from her childhood.
I like it.
Give it.
You have one. Oh my God. I don't know. Do you have an embarrassing story?
I wasn't very embarrassing.
Well, she was embarrassing to me. I used to ask her. I used to ask her. Now she's little. We're talking about a 3, 4. Kristen, can Mom have a kiss? Mom, I'm sorry, I don't have any. I haven't been to the store yet.
Aren't I terrible?
And then I had a son who was Velcroed to my knee till he was about 10.
Grammy went to nursery school with Eric, pretty much. Where I'd be like, go away.
I'm telling
What a
you, she came
wonderful
out of the
story.
womb independent.
I love the fact that she didn't
Kristen-
remember the show she was going to promote.
I was like, hold on, I'm going to get the cat for you, too.
Oh,
We're going to get the cat now, too. We got to get the cat in there. There's no question about it.
Renee, that's
Baby Bell. This is Baby Bell.
That little kitty.
She's 6 months old.
You going to say hello?
look at the little. He's wearing a little mitten.
Yep.
I know.
Pretty good.
She's so
We
cute.
got 2 mittens. Look at that. Got 2 mittens right there.
Yeah.
So.
No,
Yeah.
Melissa keeps asking if we can get a kitten. I'm like, I don't know.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
find one
look
for
at
you.
this.
Look at this.
Oh, they're so lovable.
Dude, they're a lot of work.
Andy, I can find you a kitten in about 3 minutes if you
I'm-
need one.
There's
Andy,
every
get like a
building in
hero
the
pet.
state has stray kittens for sale. That's part of the problem.
I can
Yeah,
see
what
that.
are we doing, huh?
Beauty.
But I will tell you, Renee, I've been doing this business now for 53 years.
Wow.
And after all that time, to be working for over 10 years now, right, Kristen?
Yep. I think we're hitting 11 this year.
11 years we've been working together, and it's been just horrible. I mean, I meant what
Now,
I
was
meant
I
to
ever in the
say.
car when you two were doing interviews?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I've done
She was just like, Mom, be quiet. On the radio.
Mom, be quiet. All right, ladies,
likes
go
to talk.
enjoy.
I
it.
like talking.
What are you guys going to do today? You guys do anything today together?
Well, we'll go for a walk. We're going out to dinner
Maybe
tonight.
Dinner, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna.
The beach. It's like 20 degrees, isn't it?
No,
It's 80.
Florida?
Oh, that's right. It's in Florida. I
Or we
forget.
can go swimming in her pool.
Yeah.
Oh, swimming pool. Good for you. I'll be out
Tom,
there
you have a place in what, West Palm?
in West Palm. Yes,
Yeah, West Palm.
Yeah, oh, you're not far. That's where we
Yeah.
always fly out of, West Palm. The nice airport.
I love that
Yeah,
airport
we
because
love
it's
that.
not.
I do too.
Yep.
God, you go to that
Favorite
Miami airport. Oh God, that airport's Fort Lauderdale and Miami are way too busy.
Yeah.
No, you're right about it. No, we absolutely love it. I used to work in Jacksonville, Florida. I was at WAPE in Jacksonville.
Okay.
So I got to love Jacksonville. I'll always promise myself if I could ever afford it, that I would get a place in Florida. So that's why we did, I guess. But I love it. I love Florida.
He's a snowbird.
He's a snow. Oh yeah, I do too. I like it. It's,
There's no question. You get a lot
and
of
now
people.
we've got no humidity, so now it's really nice.
Yeah, and this time of year, you're right. It's absolutely stunningly beautiful. Right, well, you're gonna have to get in the car and come down and visit me while I'm down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You and Grammy and KB, the other KB, not this
The other
his
KB.
wife is Catherine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Renee.
Have a lot of fun.
Renee, it was so nice meeting you.
Nice
We
meeting you guys.
love Kristen. So
Thank you. I love her too.
Thank goodness.
Even if she wouldn't kiss me when she was younger.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. We could close with that. Why
Go
wouldn't
buy
you kiss
some
your
kisses.
mother?
What's that?
Oh, there you go.
Trying to make up now with that pony kiss.
She went to the store and had some kisses.
I know, right?
In her pocket.
All right, go enjoy your day, ladies.
Have a good weekend, everyone. See you on Monday.
Nice meeting you.
Weekend.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you.
Love you.
Yeah, I do. It was fun.
She's wonderful. Look at her. Come on, get off the air. She's like pulling her. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
See, I understand now why she is who she is.
Yeah.
After meeting her mother. She's definitely, her mother definitely inspired her to be what she is and who she is, don't you think?
Oh, what a warm. Yeah, I loved that. And it made me sad too because my mom's in Florida and I miss my mom.
Well, my mother's dead. How do you think I feel?
Well, Florida and Dad are very similar, Tom, so it's fine.
Honest to God, but seeing that stuff, that does remind me of sitting with my mother and, talking in that manner, in that way. And, Andy will tell you that, although you were pretty young, but I loved my mother. Yeah, you were only like, what, 2 when she died, something like that? Oh, no, you were older than that.
No, I was like 20.
You were, oh, that's right. She died in 2008.
I was 22.
Otherwise, I'd be very offended because you always ask me if I met Toots, and I'm like, what? Like,
you know what's sad about that is I still think that Andy's about 11 or 12.
Yes, yeah. I know.
I do that all the time. It's like, yeah, weren't you born in like 2011?
I do that to Andy too. I'm always like, Andy, you want some candy? He's like, I'm an adult. Leave me alone.
Of course I do.
She just comes in the studio and rubs him on top of his head.
But I do make that mistake all the time. I cannot believe my kids are in their mid to late 30s.
I know.
Yeah. I have a hard time with that.
I don't think anyone ever really,
can adjust.
By the time you're 60, you get used to being 40.
I loved Renee. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, that was great. Like, I feel like anytime Kristen's not available, can we send your mom the StreamYard link?
Yeah,
She'll do the report.
What are you watching, Renee?
None of your business, Kevin.
I know. I don't want to tell him. Oh, okay.
Okay, well,
I'm not telling you a thing. Forget it. It's interesting. Kristen doesn't have that East Coast accent anymore.
No,
the
but her mom
Massachusetts
does.
accent. Her mom still does, though. Absolutely.
Well, Kristen's lived she's probably lived outside of that sphere for the overwhelming majority of her life. Because didn't she move here when she was in college or something?
I
or
believe
right
so.
after?
Yeah, working with Jesse Ventura.
So
it's the 25th year anniversary of him being governor or something.
Is it that
like
long?
Today.
20.
Wow.
Yeah, I just let me see.
He and I have been battling for 25 years already. Holy God!
25 years ago today, it looks like.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
Boy, I can't believe that's 25 years ago already. Just imagine 25 more years from now, you're going, yeah, Tom's been dead for a long time. It's unbelievable. We got to take a break, come right back and wrap things up right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. Get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so we made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine,
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this, at Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
We are back. That was a wonderful segment. Had Kristyn Burt with her lovely mother, Renee, schmoozing with us. You know, and again, that's another one of those deals with all these people running around talking about, you know, the far left and the far right and all their, oh, the world's miserable and it's horrible and everything sucks. No, it does not. We need to all move more closer to the center again and stop bitching at each other about everything constantly. Enjoy your family, enjoy your loved ones, your friends, and shut up. Is that good advice?
I like it. It works for me.
Shut the hell up. That'd be good. Right?
Uh-huh.
We're not getting a lot of support, Officer Dave.
What else is new?
Stabbing us right in the back. There's no question about it.
Tevin and Andy, what do you expect?
Well, I'm getting ready for the family podcast.
Oh, okay. He's in there working his ass off. But other than that, everything's
I'll
good.
throw him under the bus.
Sometimes the system isn't totally initialized here.
I understand that. There's no question about that. Ladies and gentlemen, this very quickly, I just got to throw this in there because, you know, we just had a couple of days ago, had your Halloween 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
A father says his kids got sauce packets trick-or-treating.
Oh.
Fire sauce.
Here's a little ketchup for you.
You know what, though? Like, when you do need sauce, that is pretty clutch. So, like...
Not at Halloween.
I don't know.
Wait, Brittany, are you the type of person where you keep and store the sauce packets in a drawer?
No,
I used to, but you never use them.
No, I am there's some things I am a minimalist about, and that is one. I don't want, like, I had an ex who used to always bring home a bunch of Chipotle napkins.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yep.
knock that off. We are not living
Or
that
the
life.
plastic spoon and stuff. Like, you never know. No, I know.
I will buy a pack of plastic silverware we can have in the thing. I don't need the randoms. I'm really weird about that.
Yeah, I wish that those kind of things were opt-in rather than out.
That's a
Because
good
it's
point.
like I just feel bad about throwing all that stuff away every time I go to a place like that. Like
Yeah.
how many packets of horsey sauce do you think get thrown away every day?
Yeah, that's so true.
About 10 million.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Brittany.
Oh, I'm so weird that, like, the other day I was really craving a McDonald's cheeseburger, and I was like, I don't care, I want one. Every so often, it's like once a year, I'm like, I just want a McDonald's cheeseburger.
I get it.
And I literally said, don't put it in a bag, just hand me the burger. Like, I don't want the bag. Like, just I don't need the extra stuff. I hate the extra stuff.
And they either put 1,000 sauces in there or not enough sauce at all.
Or
Like,
one.
it's one. There's no, can we just go do a training session where we can collectively agree on the proper number?
Okay, if we only have one story left should I do this story? Here's the headline. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Good news. Rubik's Cubes, UFOs, and whale puke. That's the
whale
name
puke
of
would
the
be ambergris, which is an ingredient in perfumes.
Mm-hmm.
Rubik's Cubes and UFOs. How would that tie in?
Maybe they're making a Rubik's Cube scented perfume.
All right. Well, here's the full story, ladies and gentlemen. Here are a
Smells
few
like
more.
plastic.
A few more good news stories making the rounds. The grandma in Arizona is gearing up for her 8th Thanksgiving in a row with a random guy she accidentally invited to dinner as a teen back in 2016. Now you could have dinner with them too. The grandma's name is Wanda Dench. She's doing a thing with Airbnb where up to two guests will have a Friendsgiving with them this month because, quote, grandmas feed everyone. You'll stay at Wendy's house for the night, play board games, watch movies, and get to be in their annual Thanksgiving selfie. To go with it, Airbnb is making a big donation to the charity Feeding America. I'm going to move through the UFO because I don't care about that. But a guy's dog found a rare lump of whale puke on a beach in Scotland, and it could turn into a huge payday for him. Whale vomit has stuff in it that's used in high-end perfumes. Andy already pointed that out. Ambergris. Mm-hmm. The chunk his dog found could be worth thousands of dollars.
Ambergris is very valuable.
Jesus. A bunch of whale puke and you get thousands of bucks for it.
Also, how did we find out that whale puke goes great in some perfume?
That's very bleak. There's a whole episode on Bob's Burgers about this. It's very funny where they have
Futurama. That's how I know about it.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Like they would do a whole thing on
whale puke.
On whale puke. Yeah.
How bad was that guy smelling? Where he was like, let me put some of this puke on me.
There's a lot. Pretty much any food you can think of. I mean, like most mushrooms, it's like you go into the forest and 90% of these are going to give you a horrible, painful death. Mm-hmm. But it might be tasty. This one, let's give it a try. See what happens. And there was a lot of desperation back in the caveman days.
That's true. All right, we'll close with this line. A 17-year-old boy just broke a world record for the fastest time solving a Rubik's Cube while skydiving.
Why?
I don't know.
It's a very niche.
It's too easy
record.
to do it sitting at a table.
He jumped from 14,000 feet and solved it in just over 28 seconds. He said it was much harder than he expected.
Yeah, just to hold on to it.
I love that.
Really.
But 14,000 feet, that is up there, baby. Almost 3 miles, for Christ's sake.
I'm still working on the first one I got when I was 6.
Rubik's Cube?
Yeah.
Sure.
Tom, did you ever skydive?
Nope. I've never been skydiving in my life.
I would never.
Wait, didn't Catherine go?
I don't think
once?
so.
I don't think so, no. Did Josh Arnold ever? You ever been skydiving, Josh?
Yes.
You have? So you lied?
I was like, that does not fit his profile.
My son, who went skydiving, my oldest son,
he
went skydiving in Switzerland. I said, why would you ever want to jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
I know.
It's designed to keep you up in the air.
Yeah.
So Clint Eastwood line, jumping out of a perfectly good aircraft is not a natural act.
There you
Am
go.
I the only one who's skydived? Am I the only?
Guys who were in the military.
You must
that's what
be.
they did.
Yeah, well, were you in the military when you did it, Brittany?
Hell no. Like
You weren't? Okay.
no, I did it over in Wisconsin in like 20.
That seems like a bad idea.
You weren't like a paratrooper?
Wisconsin is not my
No.
go-to for skydiving.
There's in like Baldwin or something.
Yeah, it's beautiful and it's like it's really professionally run, but just right over the border, and it's we went in like 2021. We didn't have a lot of activities going on, and my sister-in-law had just gone through a divorce and she wanted to do something extreme, so I was like, screw it. So I went and did it. It was super fun, but I didn't have like, you either like, okay, cool, I did that, or you get obsessed. There's like 2 people in the world, and like,
sure, yeah.
I was not obsessed. I was not like, I need to do this every week kind of
I
vibe.
understand completely. All right, that is going to do it. We'll take a break, be right back with the family show. And Brittany was got to go because she's such a big deal.
Bye, guys. Love you all.
You too, sister.
Bye.
We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Brad Huckle, President and Chief Lending Officer at North American Banking Company.
And I'm Michael Bilski, CEO at North American Banking Company.
As a locally owned and operated community bank, we work with many multi-generational businesses.
Take personal care dentistry of Roseville, for example. Dr. Walter Hunt, also known as Painless to me, has been a longtime customer of the bank since we opened the bank in 1998.
When his son Kyle was ready to join the practice, they wanted to expand quickly.
With their additional space and equipment, they now are able to see more patients each day while providing the same level of care and service.
Okay, guys, I'll take it from here. If you run a family business or any kind of business for that matter, you should be banking with Brad and Mike over at North American Banking Company. Every time I deal with them or their team, I know I'm working with experienced professional bankers. So why not bank with my banker? North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Recently, Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC was contacted by a company that does on-site sales. Jim was confused.
Wait, they don't know anything about us, our staff, our reputation, most importantly, our customers.
Hey, pal, no problem. We do them all over the country. You know, get the manager off the roof sale, inflatable gorilla sale, and our favorite, the 13-hour sale with a giant clock that goes to 13. Urgency, baby. We bring our crew because, well, your people are, let's just say, a little laid back.
And the pricing?
Nothing special, sport.
But Jim thought, we price competitively every day. Our prices are special. We definitely don't need these guys. But sale does convey some urgency, so he made a bold decision for his fine dealerships.
Announcing the Valley Buick GMC 365-day sale. And we can even extend it a couple years or so.
I got the air dancer guy, scratch-offs, plastic keys, bubble machine, five.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley or Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Hurry.
You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful, someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor and call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That is 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did. And tell him his guy, Tom, sent you.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Barnard is a paid endorser.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this, at Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
They are indeed.
Another woman that he loved. Her too. The third woman. Really,
Why can nobody start the show?
I can hear you. They're schmoozing.
They sure are.
We'll be fine. Welcome to the family with Andy. You start.
Andy Bernard.
Officer Dave.
Josh Arnold, Mr. Money Talk.
Amy Daniels.
Tevin Pittman.
Look at that. We're loaded. We got
There we go.
one from every corner. There's no question about it. Josh, how have you been?
Tom, I have been very good.
Really?
Very good. Despite all the, I'll say, horrors that are going on.
There are horrors
in the world, whether it's in Ukraine, whether it's in Israel.
Yep.
Whether it's here, well, I can't say here in the United States, there's some very disturbing things happening on college campuses.
I just don't understand that, Josh. What is that all about?
I do not understand, Tom, the what's going on with college students across the country and even some high school students that are pro-Hamas. I don't understand it.
I don't get it either.
We'll never understand that.
How are you pro Hamas? They're a terrorist organization.
I don't know.
It's like pro Al Qaeda.
I mean, there's a difference. Palestinian versus Israeli, that's a different discussion.
That's a different deal.
But
yeah.
Hamas is a terrorist organization
Yes.
and a brutal one.
When you view the entire world as oppressors versus everyone else,
Yeah,
then
that's what it is
that's
too.
all it
isn't
is.
it?
Yep.
So, Amy, your mother, right?
My mother was a Catholic.
And your father.
And my
was.
father was a Jew.
See, there you go, Josh. Shoulder to shoulder, Josh.
That's
There
right.
we go.
There we go.
There we go.
It is like my children and their spouses.
Yes, there you go.
Exactly.
Look,
We used to say all the shame and twice the guilt.
with the Catholic.
Yeah,
part.
well,
Oh,
both.
yeah.
Both of them.
Well, that's true. It is both.
So we
of them.
doubled up. We doubled down on the shame and guilt.
You know what I've done? I've gotten to the point because again, where I grew up, it just I didn't witness any of this stuff they're talking about. But also, if you've ever been to I want every college student to go to the Holocaust Museum in Washington D.C. and then you leave and tell me how you know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, and I don't feel qualified. I think most people aren't to speak to the length and breadth and depth of this conflict. It's so deep and it's so historic. But I don't know. I don't understand how anyone supports Hamas. I don't
get it either.
zero sense. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, you're a
there's
cop.
people
What's the
who-
answer?
What's the answer?
There's people who send proposals to serial killers in prison. So I
yeah,
mean,
That's true.
That's
know,
true.
They do. They want to marry a serial killer.
Yep.
Humans are strange.
They are.
Sure are.
So law enforcement, how do you look at this in law? I mean, honest to God.
Well, I look at it differently than everybody else looks at it
Yeah.
because I'm sitting across from a black man and right next to a
I
Jew.
told him to leave and he wouldn't listen.
When I saw the officer walk in, I was like, you know what? It might be time for me to skip the last hour.
Might be time to go.
And this day was going so well.
I know. I was don't shoot.
Do you think, and maybe I'm just being a fool and just, hoping and wishing and all the rest of it, but are we going to learn something by this? So maybe if we do get to the other side of this, we can go, that was all wrong. First of all, you're 18, 19 years old. You have no idea what the hell you're even talking about. Correct?
That's true.
Yep.
I mean, don't run your mouth. You have no experience in the world. You just moved out of mom and dad's house, for God's sake.
No, many of them are moving back into mom's house.
Yeah, they are now. Yeah, you're absolutely
Currently
right.
living in mom's house.
Yep.
Oh God. So I don't know. Like I said, let me just say this. I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. But I've been very honest about this. I have been attacked for things that people thought that I never even came close to thinking. They attacked me for all kinds of stuff. That's what people do. They have no idea what the hell they're talking about, but they got to hurt you because it somehow makes them feel better about themselves. Is that what this is?
There's something in that. Yeah.
God, grow up, for Christ's sake. Grow a pair. How about that? That'd be good, wouldn't it?
It's just the situation is so complex and so long-standing.
Yeah, it is.
And if there was an easy answer, we'd have come up with it a long, 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 long time ago. And I don't think there's any winners or there's no winners in this.
No, there's not. But, for me now, unfortunately, there is an upside to this whole deal because of where I grew up. I grew up with Jews, blacks, and Catholics, and I couldn't be happier.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. I loved every minute of it, the things that would be said and done and all the rest of it. Tons of support across, right down Plymouth Avenue. It was wonderful. So once again, shut up, all of you. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah, let the grown-ups try and figure this out for the 900 millionth time.
That's very true. So, Josh, what's the latest with you, Buster?
The latest with me, I'm still upright, still running.
That's true.
So that's might be slow. Might be the fact that turtles now pass me.
Turtles are passing when you run.
When I'm running, turtles are passing me.
They're overrated.
The turtles
Yeah.
or me?
No, they think they're so
Maybe a
cool.
little both. Turtles do think they're way too
They
cool.
think they're
You're
so
right.
cool.
But since you wanted to know or kind of implied what's going on in the market,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
there you go.
That's exactly right.
I get this question. Well, all the things that are going on in the world, how come the market is going up?
Yeah.
Said, well, the market, stock market, bond market is focusing primarily on the Federal Reserve.
Yes. Right.
And what the Federal Reserve is going to do with interest rates this past week. The Fed took a pause, but reserved the right to raise interest rates later, whether it's in the next month when they meet or in January or February, data dependent. So they're still concerned that the economy has not slowed down enough to come back to their 2% inflation target.
Right.
Though we'll say the growth rate in the country is right now above 4%, which is so the economy is chugging along on a positive basis. That might be unsustainable, but inflation is slowly coming down. Today, the stock market was up, bond market was also up. Prices on bonds went up, yields went down because the jobs number that came out.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Okay, was only 150,000 jobs. And the previous month's number was revised lower.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
Job growth is slowing. The Fed should like that. And then unemployment ticked up. Now, part of the unemployment ticking up was there are numerous strikes around the country.
A lot of strikes. That's
All right.
which was happening.
Yep.
So the bond market cheered. Oh my goodness! Yay! Bond prices went up, yields came down. The 10-year Treasury, which was close to 5%, has ticked back down to close to 4.5%. That's a big move. The 2-year Treasury has dropped below 5%. Again, that's a significant move. All of this happening in the last week. So now market prognosticators are saying, oh, maybe the Fed is going to cut interest rates in June instead of July. So the Fed has said they're not anticipating doing that for not maybe until 2025. Okay, so that's just one set of numbers. Next set of numbers is earnings are coming in a little bit better than expected in different industries. Favorite Apple reported a better than expected earnings number. So I cheered that.
Oh, you love Apple.
I love Apple.
So do I.
I love Apple. I was teasing with Annie on the phone about Apple's earnings and how that gave me very warm and fuzzy feelings. Few comments about Apple stock. One, iPhone sales were up, and even though China sales, if you break that out, China iPhone sales were down. They were actually a little bit better than expected. Big thing with Apple is their services revenue. So all those apps that you get, all the subscriptions that you have on Apple, all the money that you spend goes to their services revenue line. And they generated $23 billion this past quarter. That's with the B. 23 with the B.
One segment of their business.
That's just one segment. So that business, which grew about 16% year over year, is now half the revenue of iPhones.
Really?
Services business is half the revenue of the iPhones, and margins are up at 45%.
Wow.
So
not bad.
And they're anticipating that margins will be in that vicinity for the next quarter, though they did say they were pretty conservative in their guidance for next quarter, saying that revenues would probably be equal to last year, but last year had an extra week. So I'm pretty, I'll say pretty pumped about Apple, and Apple's still buying back shares. They still have a lot of cash. And because interest rates were up, that cash generated a lot of extra money. So that to me was a positive. Then I can start looking at other types of companies that reported better than expected earnings. I don't go to Starbucks, but Starbucks beat their number, saw some tremendous growth in China, and said they're looking to add another 50,000 stores.
50,000?
On a worldwide basis.
Wow.
And they are following Apple into India. It's like, okay, I'm going to go into India and have a Starbucks. But they are growing leaps and bounds. Their stock took a nice jump. And I know you guys are all concert goers and are always trying to get tickets for concerts and the like. Live Entertainment, which owns Ticketmaster, reported another beat and raise quarter. People want to spend money on experiences, and they got helped by Beyonce and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Actually, we've talked about Taylor Swift. You know, there's even bets right now on another company that I own and have recommended, DraftKings, which beat their numbers. I think there's a parlay bet on Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
All right, Amy, what do you got? Travis Kelce.
Whether they're going to last or what's the bet?
I have no idea.
Oh, that's so funny. You know, we were the radio station that did the billboard back a few weeks ago that we just put up. It was when the Vikings played Kansas City that we just put up the billboard that said "Beat Taylor's boyfriend," and got traction around the world. It was crazy. But I don't know. That woman is, and she's so young, but she is
jealousy,
brilliant.
Jealousy.
She is brilliant.
She's a billionaire.
She is a brilliant marketer.
She is a billionaire.
She's unbelievable.
Yeah, she's now a billionaire. That's
She
right.
rarely makes a misstep. Rarely.
No, you never hear any Taylor Swift scandal or she not even she was rude to somebody.
Never.
Ever. Like,
Ever.
it's always positive.
And she just knows how to appear, whether it's real or not. She appears to reach out and interact with her fans on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they're handpicked, and she has a team that, goes through and vets people and says, this would be a good one. This would be a good one, but the woman knows how to use social media, how to raise interest in everything she's doing. This Travis Kelce thing, whether it's real or what we would call at my station a publicationship, it's working. It's working for her.
Yeah.
It's working for her.
I got to ask you a question, because this is very, very true. And it just, in this case, it's the way things already were. But in every job that I've had since I was about 25, there's usually a guy that runs the department. There's a man.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I come to work for them, they always put a woman between the top guy and me. Why do you think that is?
I think it's brilliant.
You think it's brilliant? Now, Amy, let me ask you this question. Did I have a reputation of not maybe getting along with management?
Yeah.
Is that what you picked up on? Oh, laugh it up, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin's like,
no, it's Kevin when he does that.
Kevin. Yeah. Oh, it's evil. It's evil, Kevin.
I love how he asked that question as if he didn't already know the response that was going.
Right.
He's a lawyer.
Yeah.
You know he was a lawyer?
I know the lawyer question.
It's a leading question. I object.
But it's so funny. I've always noticed that. It's like Well, Tom, it's going to be great. No, and by the way, Dan and I get along great. Dan's a great guy. Got no problem with him.
My boss, yeah, he's a great guy.
But there's always a woman between me and management, which I think is brilliant because my mother raised me. My dad was gone.
You know what? What a lot of people, I think, don't know about you, Tom, and when people ask me, because you and I did not know each other previously.
No, not at all.
And I've been in this market, I don't even know, 25 years, 30 years, something like
you
that.
told me 75 years.
Yeah, okay, nice. If that's true for me, then you've been in it 150.
That's true. That's a very good.
But I remember Dan just my boss just put a date on my calendar, lunch with Tom Barnard. And I was like, excuse me? And I was like, what is that? It was at the Lilydale Country Club.
Oh,
right?
you mean
Lilydale
Pool and Yacht?
Yeah, Pool and Yacht.
Yeah, Pool and Yacht Club, yeah.
So I go to this meeting, and
by the way, there are no yachts there.
There's no yachts. No,
there's
no.
a pool, but no yachts.
There's no yachts. But I go there, and I'm thinking, Tom Barnard, he does not have a reputation for being. I mean, what little I know, because again, we didn't know each other.
No,
I was like, I don't think he has a reputation for being a very nice man, but he is different. Maybe not. He may be not nice, but he's got management issues, I think. I've vaguely heard about that. And I showed up, and honestly, and I've told Tom this since, like from that point forward, and anybody who asks me, I love you. I do. I think you're
amazing.
delightful.
I think he's an a-hole.
By the way, he's also an asshole.
Yes.
But that's all cops.
But
think
that's right. You are who you are, but you have never. I just said this recently. You have never treated me with anything but respect, even when we disagree.
But I do that with women, but not with men.
I believe that, and I think, don't you think that's because of your relationship and respect for your mother?
Like my mother and my two older sisters.
Absolutely,
there's no doubt about that. That's who raised me.
Yep, and you are so protective and loving and wonderful with your wife, your family. I have, again, because your reputation precedes you. When people go, "Oh, you work with Tom? What's that like?" I'm like, I love the guy. I do. And I sincerely mean that.
Well, that's very kind of you. But I have always noticed that. It's like, except for in one position, there was a woman in charge, and that didn't work well.
Yeah, I think we know who that is, and we're not going to talk about it.
I'm not going to talk about it. Just saying it was just as when I used to be a milkman back in the day.
Yeah.
I was delivering milk door to door.
Yeah. Oh my God, that makes you sound 100.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
so funny.
Andy, you obviously know that I adore you and Alex and the grandkids and all the rest of it. So where would Andy, ever get the idea that I'm not an even keel guy?
Just rewind to the beginning of the show.
Yeah, right. Right. Body of work.
The body of work. What do you mean with the grandkids? What?
You mean the grandkids would think you're not even keel? Who are you talking about?
No, you as my son.
I never said you're not even keel.
I was asking you that very thing. You weren't paying attention.
Yes, I was.
You mean like when people come to him and say,
yeah, see, none of us know what you're talking about.
Like,
you're not asking in a very even keel manner, I have to say.
After 53 years now,
he's searching. He's searching.
Your keel is very odd at the moment.
Your
keel is off. Your keel is off.
No, but I do. I actually like that because. But like I said, Dan and I get along really, really. I would think the world of Dan. He's great. But then one of the main reason I took this job at Hubbard was, why? Because I didn't know any of you before I took this job.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of Ginny Hubbard. There was another woman that I've known since she was 8 years old. I suppose whoever you're raised by is who you're going to get along with best, aren't you? I mean, you probably get along with your mother better than most, like a lot of guys.
Yeah, I was definitely a mama's boy growing up.
I can see that in you being a mama's boy.
Okay, you know what?
Wow.
Officer Day.
You know what, though? Women, I'll just tell you, since this is a table full of men, women know, we can tell if a man has been raised by a mother.
Oh, I bet.
And has sisters, it's obvious. They just have they just have a recognition, and that's nothing against men who aren't. But there's just, when you grow up with women in a house, whether that's a mother or sisters or both, you just have this different sort of view of, you're not embarrassed by women things because you've been around them your whole life. Mm-hmm. There's a certain amount of, I think, emotional conversation that you've been forced into, whether you wanted to do it or not. And I think, I hope you grow up, if it's a good environment, with respect.
No, I think that's absolutely true. And I love the fact that when Josh was talking about the market and what's going on here and there, you commented as he was going along. What is, as a woman, do you have a different view of the economy, the stock market, the way things are going? It sounded to me like you and Josh were pretty much on the same page.
Well, I just think, you know what it is, and I think it has less to do with gender as it does the older I get. And the more same going back to the beginning of the conversation with, the Israelis and the Palestinians, the world has always been a dangerous place.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
dangerous, chaotic. And when people say, oh, but what about the good old days? There weren't any.
No.
Ask
what I've been
Tevin
saying.
how some of his family feels about the good old days.
Well, that's what I've been saying. It's like everywhere in the world since the beginning of time, there's been some sort of genocide or something going on.
Absolutely.
You just never heard about it.
Yeah, that's true.
And the stock market is kind of the same thing. Speaking of moms, my mom was very deeply into, finances and investing. And we'd get our statements and she'd go, quit looking at that. And she'd go, you look at that once a quarter at best, just leave it alone. Because we were in our 20s and 30s. And sometimes people come into my studio and be like, oh, the stock market. I'm like, if you can't take it, get out of it. Because, right, Josh, it's going to go up and down.
Every day goes up.
And
down, then it'll go back up again.
Yep. And the world in general, to get back to your question, it's less about gender, I think, as it is about age. The more you've lived, the more you've seen the cycles, that this is a world where things go up and down and up and down. Conflict starts, it ends, and then it starts again. And you know what? You do the best you can to stay sane, treat people well, be kind, in your corner of the world, and I don't have control of the rest of that.
No, you don't. That's very, very true.
And carry a big baseball bat.
Really big. Really big baseball
with you
bat.
all the time.
Right.
So you guys, it seems to me, are being pretty positive about the stock market, the economy, and all the rest of it.
I can be, you want some negative stuff, I can give you negative.
No, I'm just saying.
But I tend to look, I'll say, I'll just say I'm a realistic optimist because things are going to get better.
Good.
And it's just where they're going to get better. If you're sitting in the executive suite at Target, things are tough.
Yeah.
People are not spending as much money at Target. In particular, Target said they're not spending as much money as on food.
On food, yeah, I saw that article.
Walmart said the exact same thing. Walmart said, we think it has to do with the diet drugs that are coming to market.
Really?
Interesting.
Coming out from Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly. So these are drugs that were used for diabetes, and they found, people are losing weight.
Ozempic, Wegovy.
Right. So now they're trying to get FDA approval for this drug being for weight loss. So if Mozambique, I think is the drug from Eli Lilly, if that gets approved for weight loss, well, that could be big dollars for Eli Lilly, provided, of course, that they have enough of the drug.
That's the thing. People who have diabetes can't afford the medication.
Really?
They're prescribing it off-label now.
Yep.
Doctors are prescribing it for diabetes, but they're prescribing it for weight loss. If it gets approved for weight loss, then it. Wegovy is that. There's two. There's the Ozempic is the diabetes drug, and I think Wegovy is the weight loss.
Ozempic, they're prescribing for weight loss as well.
Yeah, they are, but there's one that's the same drug. It's just got a different name depending on what they use it for.
So that's kind of interesting for healthcare, and you have two retail giants saying people are not spending money for food because of these drugs. And it's like, what?
Do you know, is London Barley's Cub Foods, are they blaming they have down sales? Do you have that information?
I don't have that. I'm just listening to what they're saying, but then I've listened to Coke and Pepsi report, and they're saying sales are up. People are still drinking a lot of Coke products, Pepsi products,
Yeah.
And Monster Beverage is going to be coming out with their earnings, and they've had some strong runs. There's another company called Celsius.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the energy drink.
Oh yeah, the energy drink.
Yep.
They have a partnership with Pepsi for distribution. People are buying, I'll say, different types of products.
Yeah.
Josh,
that's all.
when you say Pepsi and Coke are reporting that sales are still very strong, I think most of us have noticed that they're also gotten a lot more expensive. Used to be able to get a 12-pack of soda for pop for $4. Now it's closer to $7. Is that what's fueling their growth? Is it unit sales or is it price?
Unit
it
sales
is. Okay.
and price.
Okay.
I mean, you could have Clorox reported, so their numbers were up. Now I don't buy bleach that often, so I'm not. So you need bleach, you go buy bleach,
right,
or whatever else that Clorox has. If you need it, you're gonna buy it.
Right. And with Clorox, I mean, they sell like the disposable pads and stuff for all the wands, so it's not just the bleach. But with Target and Walmart saying nobody buys food there, I would say
the people at their food sales are down.
Or so I'd say down. I went to Walmart yesterday because I needed a very specific ingredient that was only available at Walmart, and walking through their food areas, like I wouldn't grocery shop here is not an impressive selection. So I don't blame it on the diet pills. Improve your selection of what you have to offer compared to like a Cub Foods or Lunds and Barley's.
Right. But I mean, that's one of those things that's going on. I think, my point, and if I look at other retailers, certain types of retail are down, but TJ Maxx sales are up. So that's TJ Maxx and Marshalls. So people are changing where they're spending their money.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Lululemon, a high-priced item, spending keeps going up there. So if I look in terms of where spending is happening or what consumers are spending money on, because consumers are still spending, we'll say they're spending money on experiences and not necessarily on buying another TV, as an example. Or we're not going to go out and buy clothes, certain types of clothes. We're going to go out and buy.
Right. You're not shopping at the high-end designer stores as much anymore and going to like a TJ Maxx or lower price point.
So that's it. Or you know what? I'm going to push off buying a new pair of jeans. I'm going to take that money and go get a ticket through Ticketmaster to go see Taylor Swift.
Yep.
So it's just a different type of spending. So that's how it continues to power the economy.
I'm going to ask you guys a question because I've only been, my Walmart story. You ever heard my Walmart story?
Nope.
And again, I got nothing against Walmart, but I've only been in a Walmart once in my life. I don't go to Target that much either. So I'm not a big shopper, I guess is the best way to put it. Like I would never have thought that Walmart even had food. Do they serve a lot of food?
I mean,
it's like a superstore thing, right?
Yeah.
Like what Target does?
Yep. Back when like Super Walmart and it was Super Target, those were the only ones that had it. But now pretty much every Walmart and Target has some sort of grocery.
See, I didn't know that.
You can do a very basic. Now, if you want to go cook a 5-star meal, you have to go to a real grocery store with larger selections. But
it's like Target, right?
Basics. Yeah.
Yeah. Target's got groceries. And Target might be a little better. I don't know. Because Target's got it's got all the meat and stuff that you could need. But you're not going to get any fancy stuff at Target.
Yeah, like I had to get wonton wrappers. Like Walmart and Target aren't going to have wonton.
They're not going to have
wrappers. Yeah, you have to go to a grocery store.
Yes, I don't know. And again, I'm not avoiding them. I just don't go to those stores. There are a lot of stores I don't go into. I just don't. But I did have that funny story about the one time I've been in Walmart, which I thought Kevin loves this story.
Let's hear the story.
Yeah. Okay, here's the story. So I'm playing golf up in Elk River. And my wife calls me and she says, on the way home, would you stop and get some water softener salt? We ran out. I said, okay, well, I'm right by the Walmart in Brooklyn Park. I'll just duck in there and get the water softener salt. So I go walk in the front door and I'm looking around, and this young black woman walks up to me and goes, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just looking for some water softener salt." And she looks at me and says, "Why don't you go shop at Target with all the other white people?" I started laughing. Then I realized she wasn't kidding.
Yeah.
But I wasn't offended. It was like, okay, whatever. I guess I'll go to Target. I don't know why she ever said that to me. I never will understand it.
And it feels like no matter what Walmart you go to, no matter where it is in the country, it all feels the same.
Yes.
Kind of like.
Oh, does it?
Oh, it feels like a ratchet version of Target.
Yes.
Like,
does it really?
It's just something about the bright fluorescent lighting, and people like when you go to Target, people will get dressed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Whereas
really?
like Walmart, they just kind of whatever. We happen to like. You got my smiley face pajamas on, and we're rolling out.
People at Walmart's website
It's hilarious.
It's
Oh,
unbelievable. The way
There's
they
a
dress.
reason there's a website.
Yes.
So I guess
And
I
I'm
should
from
have.
here, so I'm just always sort of a Target fan. You know, if
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going to
true.
make a choice, I just choose Target because those are our peeps, man.
I mean, I got nothing against Walmart. I just don't.
All
I
you
don't
need
anything
to
about
know is that there's a Walmart or Target within 10 miles of everybody in the United
Absolutely.
States.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
true. Isn't that amazing?
Oh yeah, when we were honeymooning near Deadwood, the only place that there was a gigantic Walmart in some like tiny little town 5-10 minutes away. And that's like where everyone within probably 50 miles got all their stuff.
Yeah, well, growing up in Osceola, Wisconsin, in St. Croix Falls, there was a huge Walmart, and that was just where everybody went to get it. And even that place was still ratchet. And I was like, how is this a bunch of country folk out here, and it's still shenanigans going on.
There's shenanigans going on.
Shenanigans.
Their stock price is close to an all-time high.
Is it?
Walmart is?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
They've
That's good.
always done. I mean, there's a market. There's a definite market for that. You know,
The only negative I saw in that whole deal, which is maybe one of the reasons I don't go a lot, is Litchfield, Minnesota is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I've always loved Litchfield. They got a nice golf course. You just go play, softball up there and all the rest of it. But the second that Walmart opened, that entire main street of Litchfield shut down. That bothers me.
Yeah,
I love those small
agreed.
town main street. I love that.
Yep.
And Litchfield is pretty much gone.
There's a lot of towns out there now that specifically in their charter, they state no big box stores.
Yeah?
We will never open one because it kills every local business.
It does.
Yeah.
Which is
All the-
unfortunate.
All the hardware stores and everything else.
Oh, yeah. They're
Closing.
gone.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
that has
you put
nothing
a-
to do with Walmart or Target.
No,
that's like Home
Lowe's
Depot and
and-
Menards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put a Home Depot within 30 miles of a town, every hardware store is going to be gone
Yeah,
within
true.
a year.
And it's like people don't figure out you're spending this much gas to go to this Home Depot that's 30 miles away when they got the same stuff at your local hardware store 5 minutes away.
Yeah, when we lived in Crystal, we used to go to there's like this tiny Ace in Robbinsdale. We went there all the time, even though Home Depot was maybe 10 minutes away.
Yep.
But we just, we liked our little hardware store. It was convenient. It was close.
Yep.
And they're usually staffed with people who can answer some
That
questions.
too. Home Depot, they don't know anything anymore.
Oh, and like I'm the type of person where if I go to Home Depot or any hardware store, I'm not the first thing I do before I even look for what I'm looking for. I'm going to find somebody to explain to them what I'm trying to do, so that way I can find the right thing and I don't put a big hole in my wall while I'm paying my TV.
So how does that affect the economy when all these little businesses shut down?
Well, unfortunately, it improves it because the big box stores pay a whole lot of taxes.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Local governments actually like them, but
they employ a lot of people.
and they
employ
employ a lot of
people, that's
employees, a
true.
lot of the property taxes alone. Can you
Oh,
imagine
God, yeah.
how much a single Home Depot pays in property tax?
Not as much as Jeff Bezos.
Well, no.
Man, I heard some about this next move that Bezos is making, and I can't really talk about it on the show because a non-disclosure agreement that
I can because it was all I can talk about it because
right.
because it was on the news this morning on
my
news
this morning. Okay.
On my news show this morning that Jeff Bezos is moving from the state of Washington to the state of Florida.
Yeah, that's correct.
And he has bought some property in Indian Creek, and he's got some neighbors like Tom Brady.
That's not bad.
Carl Icahn.
So he's really moving to the
Ken
rundown.
Griffin, and he bought 2 mansions.
Not one, but 2.
But 2. So he bought
2 mansions,
and he's going to go. Whoop, they're going down, and he's going to build up. And part of the reason that he's moving has to do with
taxes.
Taxes.
Yep.
State of Washington and Seattle have raised taxes, and particularly on capital gains. And for somebody in his income bracket, whenever he sells stock, I mean, his income is still at $75,000 a year from
of course
Amazon.
it is.
Yeah, right.
So he
bet it
generates
is.
money from selling stock, and he's got to sell a lot of stock to pay for his space company, Blue Origin, which competes with Tesla, which competes with
SpaceX.
Musk's Elon
SpaceX,
Musk's
yeah.
SpaceX. So this move is going to save him. What did I see the number?
It's got to be hundreds.
$700 million a year in taxes.
Yep.
No, again, why? If you were Washington, why wouldn't you adjust and say, "Let's hold on to this money"?
Because that's ours. You don't deserve
Yep.
your
Okay.
income. You
Okay.
don't deserve your wealth.
So I have a question for you. This is a personal deal. I'm not going to give you the numbers, obviously, but just did my corporate taxes. My state corporate taxes were 2/3 of my federal corporate taxes. That's a little high, isn't it?
I would think so.
I would think so. Why are we doing this?
You don't deserve. It's not your business that you created. We created that business. Thank you very much,
Think
Elizabeth
of all the
Warren, for
people
that.
we could help with that money.
Yes,
Well,
just think
it's
of all the people.
short-sightedness
Just the
too,
money.
because it's like, if we can tax every millionaire in the state at this rate, we'll make this much money. But if we lower the taxes, we'll lose this much money. But the millionaires fleeing never gets factored into the
No, it doesn't.
calculation,
Right.
and
No,
we're
you're
seeing it
absolutely
happen right now.
Yeah, and you hear about it all the time of millionaires, especially if it's athletes. They'll go, "Well, I want to sign with a team in Texas or a team in Florida
Yeah,
because there's no
Florida, yep.
state tax," or
Yep.
so they factor those in. So yeah, you probably lose as many
Oh
millionaires.
God, yeah. If I was going to start up a huge business, I would never do it in a state with high taxes ever.
Amy, how many markets is Hubbard in now?
In radio, 7.
7. And do you run them all out of here though, right?
I do not, but somebody does. Yeah, we run them. Hubbard runs them out of Minneapolis, St. Paul.
That's what I thought. Is that a problem? I mean, is that difficult to do because of all the different? So you're in how many different states?
Let me think. I think those would be 7 different states.
All
Because
7
we've got,
different states.
Yeah, we've got Cincinnati, Phoenix, Seattle, Minneapolis, St. Paul,
Palm
St.
Beach.
Louis, West Palm Beach, and Washington, D.C.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
So you're all over the United States.
Right. Exactly.
Having to deal with all those different economies, is that, I don't know, that's got to be kind of difficult.
I would not want to be the business office.
That's what I'm thinking
And
myself.
if
gotta
it's
be difficult.
easier for the business office just to have us all move to Florida permanently and do the show from there, I support that.
You're in.
And, yeah,
I'm out. Yeah, I would never move to Florida, but
Why
you
wouldn't
know,
you move to Florida?
my grandfather lived there for most of his life, and I'm not a fan of that state at
This
all.
your father's father?
My mother's father.
Oh, your mother's father.
Yeah.
Nice Catholic boy.
Ironically, in my family, the Jewish side of the family had very little money, and the Catholics had all of it. So I don't understand how
Really?
that happened.
Oh, your mother's family's in the mafia?
Yeah, they were. They were.
I was going to say they were selling
They killed people.
indulgences.
Is that wrong?
No.
Is that a wrong thing to do? I'm sorry.
John got praised.
Yeah, why? So no, I'm just not a fan of Florida at all.
I wonder
don't-
why.
I just
Why not?
I don't. I think
It's flat.
It's flat. It's dirty. It's
They have-
hot. It's humid. It's
It is very hot and humid. Well, it depends on where
There are
you
a
go.
lot of
to.
little bugs.
My
That's
A lot
it.
of bugs.
Yeah.
There are a lot of
That's it,
little
too.
bugs. You have to put
Yeah.
the cereal boxes in the refrigerator.
My politics and worldview don't really work in Florida. Let's say that.
Really?
I don't think we'd enjoy each other.
No, you two, the
You
two
know.
you kids.
Yeah, I'm one of your lefty friends.
I don't know if I could ever live there in the summer.
Oh, I wouldn't want to live in Florida in the summer. Don't get me wrong.
It'd be horrible.
I lived in Florida in the summer, and it was not
It's
pleasant
awful.
in the summer.
We used to go visit my grandpa, and the minute you
What
walk
town?
off the plane, he was in Bradenton, so
Oh, Bradenton,
Sarasota
okay,
area.
sure, yeah.
And boy, the minute you got off the plane there, you just feel the humidity.
Oh, yeah.
It's just overbearing.
Yeah, no question about it.
But I just don't think it's a very interesting state as states go. I mean, I just rather be just about anywhere else. Not a big fan of California either, but that's just me.
Oh, California. Yeah, what's interesting, I spent a lot of time in both states, and I really love both states. But once you move to the political side of it, it gets really hideous very quickly.
Dicey, yeah.
Isn't that sad?
I
That
love Minnesota.
politics?
I mean, honestly,
Mhm.
I moved
No, I
back
love
from those
living here.
places to here
Yeah.
because the quality of life here, you only notice that when you go somewhere else and live there, not visit, live there. And I was in Las Vegas. I was in different parts of California. And man, I wouldn't go back there for all the money in the world. The
Andy-
Minnesota's got a better life.
Yeah, no question. Andy, you like raising a child in Minnesota?
I mean, out where I am, it's fine. Yeah, I don't love the income tax issue, but other than that, it's But I would never want to raise a kid anywhere near Minneapolis, for example.
No,
but I
not
wouldn't really
anymore.
want to raise a kid in any city in the country. I couldn't name a city that I'd want to live in raising a kid.
I suppose that is true. I don't know. It's an interesting situation. Is all I have to say. The way people view, because I've had the exact opposite experience in Florida. I have loved Florida. When I lived there, I thought it was great.
I love living in West Palm Beach.
Yeah, I mean, West Palm Beach would be great. It's just, I suppose it's different experiences. I guess I don't know.
It's just one of those places every time I've gone that I'm struck by the fact that, and this may be specific to Sarasota, Bradenton, but it's just surface roads for miles and miles. Where
I
you
don't
just
like
drive
the highways on the west
stoplights
side.
and-
You're right.
It really depends. Well, Florida's multiple states wrapped up into one.
It is.
'Cause,
You're
like,
absolutely
you
right.
go on the Panhandle.
That's
It's
true.
It's the deep South.
Mm-hmm.
You go
Yeah,
to
it
like
is.
the southern part of Florida. It's basically all like New Yorkers. There's all sorts of different places for you in Florida.
I love the way you talk about there's miles and miles of roads and you got to stop every.
It's like there's no freeways in Sarasota. You just drive
The whole
surface
west
roads
side.
forever.
The whole west side of the state. I'm not
It's like
wild
Las
about the
Vegas.
driving over
Yeah,
there.
it's like Las Vegas that way, where you just have to drive on Flamingo from the south to all the way to the north. Vegas has never had a great freeway system.
No, and I like there are nice towns on the west
Yeah,
side of
sure.
Florida, but the travel is not great.
No, and
That
I'm
is
just a
true.
water, rocks, and trees kind of girl. I missed when I was gone. I missed ducks and bunnies and
You don't
forests.
see much of that in
and-
Florida.
Nope, not a lot.
Geckos.
I hate them.
Oh,
A lot
I
of
cannot stand-
geckos.
I lived in Phoenix,
gosh.
Arizona for a little while,
Oh.
and I had to go out kind of the outskirts of town to pick up a delivery, and I
Uh-oh.
looked in the parking lot, and you could see all these little like snakes slithering
No.
around.
No.
I called the people, and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to pop the trunk, and you're going to put the package in, and I'm going to drive away."
Yeah, for
I had the little lizards that would scurry across. No,
little
can't do it.
geckos.
Can't do
Yeah.
it. I'm
Same
out.
with Vegas, just bugs and
Mhm.
lizards and nothing furry.
Desert
Nothing
climates are meh.
No.
And
I'm out.
that is probably not great. But look, I loved Minnesota. Lived here my whole life. Lived in other places. One thing that was really weird about Jacksonville, I'll never forget that. This would have been 1976, 77. So I moved to Jacksonville, Florida. Worked at WAPE, the Big Ape,
Big Ape.
legendary radio station. You know who the Grease Man was? The morning guy when I was
Really?
there. Yeah.
Did he end
absolutely.
up in DC?
Yes.
Yeah.
He went to DC and then he got fired because of what he said.
Something bad.
Oh, you don't remember what he said?
Was it racist?
Oh, yes, it was.
I thought so.
Do a little Google search.
You want to hear what he said, Tevin?
Yep.
Martin Luther King Day.
Of
no.
course.
Oh no.
Martin Luther King Day, he said, I got a great idea. Martin Luther King Day, we all got the day off. Why don't we kill 4 more and take off the whole week?
Oh, come on.
He said that in DC, by the way.
Oh my!
Which is like Chocolate City.
Jeez.
was just Chocolate City.
Wow.
Who said that?
Yeah, that was
Kevin.
Who said that? Oh my God.
Kevin.
Oh.
said that.
It is.
That's just career suicide.
That was the end of his
Honestly.
career.
Doug
That was the
Track?
end of his career.
Is that
Doug
his name?
Track, yeah.
He looks like somebody that would say that.
Does it bring
Really?
up in the story?
I'm gonna look too now.
Why
I just
he-
typed in Grease Man and it showed a bunch of pictures.
It's Doug Track.
Yeah. The silenced. Washington Post must have been in 2000 because
sounds about right.
The silenced Grease Man is the
The silenced
They said
Grease
For
Man.
a reason.
he some horrible racial slur and
Oh,
pretty
he's the
horrible.
same guy who did the James Byrd thing.
What was that?
So, 1998,
Mhm.
James Byrd, who was a black guy, was dragged behind a pickup truck till he died.
Oh, I remember that. Sure, yeah, I remember that.
And Greaseman, they played a sound bite of Lauryn Hill, so probably some rap.
she's like an R&B singer.
And
R&B,
when they came back from it, he goes, "No wonder people drag him behind trucks."
Oh,
Stop.
Oh my God.
Oh, he's just a peach of a guy.
Yeah,
already.
I can introduce you if you want.
Yeah, and this was
No, I'm good.
this was like 13 years after the MLK one.
Oh,
yeah.
So he
Yeah.
learned his lesson, so that's
Yes,
good.
yeah.
Where was he working when he said that?
Let's see, where was that? WARW, now WIAD. That
Where
was
is
in
it?
Bethesda, Maryland.
Okay.
Maryland.
Oh, so he got the big job, huh?
Yeah, you went from Washington, D.C. to Bethesda.
To Bethesda.
Still the same market.
Yeah.
Why
It's
would
still the
you,
same.
though?
Why
yeah.
would you be so stupid?
Why would you say that?
Why would you
I
be
know.
so ugly?
Well,
Why
I
would
don't-
you be so
Makes
rotten?
no
I'm
sense.
guessing he's got some substance abuse issues.
I didn't know him to be a drinker. Though. I mean,
or
I didn't spend any
personality
time with him.
problems.
I was the night guy, and he was the morning guy, so I never saw him. We're literally 12 hours apart. But I don't know why. Why would you say that?
Yeah, as far as well, he did a webcast from 2010 to 2018.
Oh, did he?
Do
you have any
oh, no,
advertisers?
he's doing web radio classics with the Grease Man. He's still doing it.
Yeah,
So-
but who the hell's going to advertise on it?
he probably has a
Right?
very specific audience.
Yeah.
think so? Yeah,
And I
you
think
might
we
be-
know who
Hear
those people
banjos
are.
playing, Kevin?
Do you have to wear a hood to listen to
I
him?
think so.
Oh God. Anyway, moving on from that.
Yeah,
kind of
right.
thing. We've only got about 10 minutes, so let's talk about something positive. Joe. I did not know the James Beard one. That part I didn't even know he did that. I'll never understand. Okay, so let's look at the economy again. So as we move forward, what are you laughing about, you
Yeah,
pill?
how's that for a segue?
Yeah, it's a good segue.
Wow,
for you.
I couldn't segue that at
know,
all.
Right from the
Working
Grease
with
Man
you,
to the
Josh,
economy.
You get these horrible segues all the time.
Oh, that's all you're gonna get, man. That's all there
Hey,
is to it.
David's like, what is going on here?
And so I literally forgot all about that he actually did that. It's like, why? Why?
Amy,
Because there's an awful lot of as we started the show,
Yeah,
there's a lot of stupidity
yeah.
There is.
in
You're
this
right.
in this world.
And Amy, working in radio as long as you have you had, you don't have to name anybody, but have you had people that you're like, I have to hold my breath every time they turn the mic on because I'm scared they're going to fire off the hip?
It depends on what kind of scared, you know.
Tom
I mean,
Barnard.
Tom Bernard, yeah, that goes without saying.
Oh.
No, I mean, sometimes what I fear more than anything is those kind of remarks. I mean, there's just no win.
No, you can't.
But those generally come from, I'm going to be blunt, they come from people who are, you have to assess when you hire people. Is this a really rotten human being?
Yeah.
If they're a rotten human being, I guarantee you will, I don't care how talented they are, you will regret that you hired them.
Yep.
Because they can't cover that for long. They
Yeah.
just can't.
Really?
It's going to come out. If you're a rotten human being, people will get that eventually, you know? And those are the people that scare me because you don't know what they're going to say. It's really not even about making a judgment one way or the other. It's about their real personality leaked out,
Yep.
you know? And that's what scares me. So I try not to hire rotten people. You know, we have at the station I run, we have a pretty good staff of people that I would never be afraid of. But, you know, I think that probably enters the picture more where you get into, and I'm not speaking of any station in the market right now, but just as a general rule, when you get into edgier stations like, the heavy metal stations or, that kind of thing, that's where probably you're in or maybe a station where it's got just people, no offense to me and everyone else, but these things have changed over time. Tevin, you can speak to that.
Yeah.
There are people that say things from a different generation where that used to be acceptable.
Yeah.
And it's not anymore. And we can whine all we want about it. Too bad.
Yeah.
It's 2023. And you can't say that stuff anymore. You
Yep.
can't. You can't make jokes about Chinese accents and think that people aren't going to be offended. You can't make jokes about people's race or sexual orientation for the most part. And people aren't going to get offended. And it's not that they're overly sensitive. It's that we've evolved to a point where that's just not okay. Stop it. Quit punching down, So I worry more about that, but not a lot with with Tom. I mean, I never worry about Tom.
No.
You know that she didn't make eye contact with me the whole time.
I know she was,
tried not
moving around.
I tried not to. I was like,
she didn't make eye contact, which I really
I was
appreciate.
like, pretend he's not here. Pretend he's not here. Pretend he's not here.
There's some people I don't like working with.
Well, hold on.
So I stare right at him.
Well, all I will tell you, the first time I ever met Tom, did not know him.
So we have that in common.
We have that in common. Was on an airplane coming from Chicago Midway Airport back to Minneapolis. I was with a guy named Bo Caprell. You remember Bo Caprell?
I remember Bo. Yep.
Okay, we get on this airplane in Chicago. Tom is dressed in pink Zubas.
Of course he was.
He was probably doing a voiceover in Chicago. We get on, and he and Bo and Midway. We were flying on Midway Airlines, so it was all first class seats.
Okay.
Get on the plane. Tom and Bo were sitting aisle seats across from each other. They first started in with the welcome that the flight attendants give and do the whole safety check between the two of them.
Oh, funny.
The rest of the hour flight, the two of them are riffing back and forth. Plane lands, everybody stands up, gives them a standing O.
Oh my God.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my God. In his pink Zubas.
In his pink Zubas.
Classy Tommy B. Classy.
And it was the most entertaining flight that I think that anybody had been on, because nobody was talking. They were listening,
of course,
to these two comedians
telling
back
jokes
and forth
for
an entire hour, trying to outdo one another.
And you thought, I want this guy to be my friend.
Yep.
And I said, who is this? In big Zubas.
Zubas.
It was the 90s. What can you do?
It was back in the day. Back in the day. It's absolutely true. And look at where we are now.
Look at where we are today.
Oh my gosh. So you guys have known each other that long?
I've never, other than that.
Really?
I think the next time I saw him was at a wedding. That was at the reception was my doctor, John Beecher. Okay. And I think it was his second marriage. And it was at Interlochen Country Club. And I met him there he's there for maybe 10
Was he
minutes.
wearing pink Zubas?
No, he was dressed up, suit and tie.
Okay.
Oh, look at that, huh?
Maybe Zubas underneath the pants. we don't know that.
Can't confirm. And I got a kick out of that wedding because the cash bar, thinking it's a doctor.
Right.
He's got a cash bar at the Interlochen Country Club.
Oh, no.
Yeah, exactly.
And people were lined up at the bar. I'm thinking, I got to remember this if ever my kids get married, I'm going to have a cash bar. No, not at my kid's wedding.
So funny.
There was no cash bar. That was open bar.
Of course.
Right. No, I think the first time I met Tom was we were at KQ bringing comedians in. And they would make me, or not make me, but I would sit out in kind of the hall outside the studio. And John Lastman opens the door. He was like, Tom's making fun of you in there for sitting out in the hallway. Get in there and defend yourself. And they just rush me in and like throw me on mic. And you were talking about listening to the show the previous day or something. And I was like, I didn't listen. It's too early in the morning. He's like, well, show starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, what, you get up earlier than that? Oh no, I usually listen to sports radio because I like. Well, you guys don't talk about sports. Like, what are you talking about? We talk about sports on the show all the time. I'm like, oh shoot, 0 for 2. And so I just kind of like take a deep breath, and I was like, black people don't really listen to your show, Tom.
That's what he said. Black people don't listen to you.
That's amazing.
That's what he said.
That's why that woman at Walmart, she knew who you were, people. You white people.
I was like,
That's right. Get out of here.
You painted me into this awkward corner.
Black people don't listen to you.
Thanks a lot.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
God.
But to go back to when I first met Tom, I sat at that Lilydale pool and spa. What is it?
Pool and yacht club.
Pool and yacht
with
club.
no yachts.
With no yacht. And I remember sitting thinking, Tom Barnard, okay. And I was eating my salad. He is nice to every server that comes to the table, to every person that's in the club. It's as true as when Tom, when I've seen you out and about, you meet your listeners, you are gracious, you are kind, you will take pictures with them, you are respectful. I just want to make sure that that's on the record, that it was an eye opener for me in terms of sometimes people have a reputation, oftentimes it's deserved. In this particular case, I see a different side of that. And I came into it like completely without, any other preconceived notions other than his reputation. And I've never seen you treat anyone with anything less than respect, especially out in public.
No, I would never do that. That's one of those situations, and we only got about 2 minutes left, so I can kind of close with this. That's one of those Minnesota deals that didn't happen in North Minneapolis. The people in North Minneapolis where I grew up were not like that at all. Once I got outside, there is a part of Minnesota, most Minnesotans are very, very nice people, but there is a part of Minnesota, they cannot wait to knock you down a peg. And I had many people telling me that, oh, you're that big a deal, we're going to have to knock you down a peg. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why do you have to knock me down a peg?
Don't get on your high horse, Mr. Bernard.
I guess.
You're not better than us, Mr. Bernard.
I get, but there's that whole idea. Look at all the names I've been called. There was no proof of any of that because it was impossible to find because I never did any of it.
Well, you can't have nice things if I can't also have the highest rated show in radio. Like,
Right.
I gotta
I
knock
guess,
you down
yeah.
a little bit.
I guess.
That's what it stems from.
All right, closing words. We got 1 minute. Any closing words from anyone?
Buy stocks. Buy stocks. That's my word. You need some help? Come see me.
Amy, you're gonna have to come in and do the show more often.
Yeah,
that
it was
good.
fun, you guys.
I loved having you on the show today. So that's gonna do it. We'll talk to you next week.